I get the start too, so and then we'll get into it. Good morning, Raider Nation. Welcome to the Raiders Monday Morning Quarterback Show. I'm 401 Raider Jeff. I'm joined by Jason, Raiders First Downs, and Chris, 4 Raiders. Chris will probably be in at some point. He's been playing around with his system, trying to fix his sound. So today, we're breaking down another flat-out embarrassing Sunday. The Browns came in, punched us in the mouth, and our offense never even put up a fight. And that disaster finally triggered the move we all knew was coming. Chip Kelly's gone, fired, out the door, out of the building. See you later. But here's a problem. Firing Chip doesn't magically fix an offense that's been lost all year. No identity, no rhythm, no urgency. And Raider Nation is tired of watching this team trip over its own feet every single week. So today, we're asking the real questions. What happened? Why did it take this long? What changes now? And what does the rest of the season look like with this offense in pieces? So sound off in the chat. We'll talk about it. We'll vent. And let's be honest, as always, like, subscribe, hit that bell, and let's get into it. Jason, are you ready for this show this morning?
Yeah, I'm ready.
It don't sound too positive.
I had breakfast. It's about the best thing I did today.
I had this vision of coming in here. You know, as soon as the game was over, I was already planning on how we were going to start this show today. So the whole ride home, I'm thinking, plus I had to field the phone call from Raider Will. He called me up and he was just ranting on the phone with me, yelling and screaming. And it was funny. But I was like, all right, how am I going to approach this tomorrow morning? Knowing that I was still going to get on the show with Jay last night doing the post-game reaction. And my first take was going to be, I'm going to come in all pissed off and angry. And then we're on the show last night with Jay and Raider Will's on there, right? And while we're on there, all of a sudden, I start getting messages. Bueno sent me the first one. And then I saw something else. And so I give him the credit to I'm not Bueno because he's the one that told me first. He goes, I think Chip Kelly just got fired. So I was like, ooh. And I said it in the chat, in the show. And then we broke it. So after that, my mood kind of changed a little bit because it's something that we were all looking forward to, correct?
Change. I mean, what we were doing, just spinning our wheels in mud is all we were doing. So,
yep. So it's like, all right, so I'm going to go a different route then. I'm going to go still kind of pissed off with the start, but yet more of like a serious tone of what the hell do we do now? Because that's the big question. What does this team do now? What type of identity are we going to be presented with comes next Sunday? Is it going to be the same status quo? Is it going to be different? It remains to be seen. Chris, you got sound yet? Apparently not.
That's a no.
So before we really
just let you know, I can't hear anything from you guys on StreamYard. I can hear everything else on YouTube and all that stuff, but on StreamYard, I can't hear you guys talking. I'm thinking I'm being sabotaged, but I got in the middle to take over my spot. I can't hear anything.
Oh, you
the other guy,
himself?
the other side.
He sabotaged himself.
I can't hear
This
you.
Is great. I can say what I want, and he can't hear me.
See you guys.
Bye. All right. Well, unfortunately, Chris won't be on the show today unless he can miraculously get his sound fixed. Sorry, buddy. He's still streaming to his channel, so show him the love. Make sure you guys get over to his channel, hit that like, hit the subscribe, hit the notification for Chris 4 Raiders. So let's hit the chat up, and then Jason, I got a series of questions that you and I are going to discuss pertaining to the game, and then the direction that this team looks like it's going to go in the future. Okay, so let's see what we got here. We've got Robert Pena's in the house. Yeah, I heard Jesse say
What's up,
that.
Pena?
I dropped into We Raiders channel and watched their show, and I said salute, and then I heard him say, "My name is Jim." Nick is here. What's up, Nick? Chips Ahoy. What's up, brother? Let's see who else.
We the people.
Where are we? Not Bueno's here. Damn, Chris, that guy pisses me off. Will's here from Silver and Black Radio Podcast. What's up, my guy?
What's going on, Will?
Raider Paul's in the house. Yep, gets the first one of the morning here.
Raiders.
Yes, sir. Let's see what we got. Is that it? That's it. Oh no, We the People's here. What's up, We the People? How you doing, brother? Navy Vet is in the house. What's up, Navy Vet, my guy? What's going on?
Welcome back. Pigs. Got some of the OGs rolling in, Jeff.
Yeah, man, this is nice. Where's James Smith? What's up, James? One of my buddies I used to work with. He goes, "Hate to tell you this, brother, but he's not the problem. The whole team is incomplete." Oh, trust me, we know this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trust me, we're not delusional. We're not like some fans that think, "Oh no, everything's great." No, trust me. I'm not Bueno. Breaking news: Chris has been relieved of his duties. Jason Downs will now be elevated to co-host.
We need a picture of Chip Kelly and Chris holding hands.
Nugget overdose here. Pete needs to step aside and put someone as interim. Pete will only advise at this point, put in half veterans, half rookies, and hopefully we find a gem within the team and perhaps play a mesh.
That sounds like a novel concept.
But you know what? Once Pete's out as head coach, I don't want him anywhere near the team. I don't know. We'll get into that because that is one of the questions. Pigs is here. What's up, man? I had a hard time watching AP coach, but I never actually rooted against him. Whereas I am done with Pete and hopes he continues shitting the bed. Yes, it's absolutely horrible. And you're absolutely. Didn't they just fire somebody else this morning too? Right? Someone else was let go. The Becknell, I think his name was. I thought I saw something. Somebody else posted something on IG, or I saw it on Facebook or something. Another coach got let go too. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
Marcus Banks, what's up, my guy? Gunsmoke's in the house. What's up, man? I just wanted an O-line. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Greg Olson is better than Chip. We hope so. Is that what has that come out yet? That's who's taken over? Have they said anything yet?
Greg Olson, yeah, that's the most common sense thing.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything, so I don't know if you'd seen something I might have missed.
Oh yeah, Las Vegas Raiders offensive assistant Bob Bicknell has also been terminated.
Okay, yeah, I knew there was some. That's it, Bicknell. So I was right with the name. Let's see, it was Chip's second in command or something. Oh, okay. Yeah, they let go Chip's assistant. So proud of my Raiders. What's up, Accelerator? What's going on, brother? Hi. Bye. Oh, Chris is back. Is he working? Maybe not. Philbin should be the head coach. Frank Webb is here. How do I not see
all the settings?
Frank Webb is in the house. If he's here, I don't see them.
Yeah, he was here earlier.
No, shout out to Frank Webb.
Yep.
So, Chris, can you hear us?
That's a no.
Yeah. I might have to mute him if he's going to stay in here because he's making noise. He has no idea he's making it. But
So, anything.
Yeah, see, I can't have him do that. That's not going to work.
I wonder what the heck's going on.
That's going to get. Oh, what do you say? I am convinced. I and many other Raiders fans could draft, develop, and coach the Raiders to more success than what's happened.
Oh, there's hundreds of thousands of GMs out there.
Yeah. There's probably millions.
Yeah.
So if we get into like our
Marcus salute, bro.
I'm actually gonna let you go at it here. So I'm gonna let you have your rant that you want. So we're gonna let Jason have the mic and let him say what he wants to say about, in particular, to yesterday's game. We're gonna get into the Chip Kelly thing. That'll be another whole rant in itself if you want it to be. But the floor is yours, my guy.
Well, the biggest part of this rant is what the hell are we doing? There's no concept. There's nothing. It's like, are they practicing? They obviously have to be practicing like that throughout the week to play like that. Does that make sense? I mean, just the intensity level, execution. First and foremost, I've never seen an offensive line get. Forget about missing blocks. They were just flat getting run over. And I don't know if you noticed one time there was Myles Garrett line straight up about 4 yards off the ball, straight over the center, and just bull rushed right through. And all it looked like he had a 9-10 split in the bowling alley. It was embarrassing, to say the least. And now on the national media, all the national media talk this morning is that was a JV team, because they're trying to cool, Shedeur Sanders over there beating his chest. Look at me. Just imagine if I had a whole, was with the first team all year, what we could be doing. And it's like, dude, pump the brakes on that for just a second, because that was garbage. That was straight garbage. And really, in all honesty, Jeff, be quite honest with you, and the rest of the people in the chat, I'm at a loss for words. And I don't think Chip Kelly was the biggest problem. I think he just happened to be, let's fire him. Maybe that'll send a message or something. But I don't think that's the problem.
Aha! You thought you can get rid of me. I found why I wasn't on. But anyway, I'm sorry for you guys' conversation. Too bad. I'm here.
All right, well, let Jason continue, because I'm asking you the same question when he's done.
So to kind of follow along what we're talking about, I don't think at this point it's not going to do any good to beat my head on the table, beat my head against the wall, and jump up and down and be pissed off about this. It is what it is. I mean, just our Saturday night show alone, everything that we talked about Saturday night happened. I only missed Shedeur Sanders' stats by 20 yards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, and to be quite honest with you, that defensive side of the ball, there needs to be some heads fired on the defensive side of the ball. The only thing that looked halfway decent, and it wasn't on a consistent basis, but at times they looked decent and probably helped keep the score lower than what it was the front seven. Other than that bubble screen, I haven't seen that kind of effort since I watched a Pop Warner game. Literally there was 5 guys. They were chasing him, and they didn't even look like they were chasing him. They were just running so their mom can wave at him from the crowd.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like, right? Like, I'm out here.
Yeah.
Wearing the uniform.
Look, Mom, I'm chasing the ball carrier. Mom, hi. Yeah.
When the game's over, I can take it home.
Well, you know what? There should be a clause in their contract that when you play like that, you don't get to keep the jerseys. Those jerseys are the property of the Raiders. Give them back. So, Chris.
Oh, what? Now he disappeared.
Yeah.
What, he go in the house and take
Nah.
shit or something too?
I don't know.
I'm here. I'm just working on some things right now. I had to reset everything, so I got all my screens are gone. So I'm here. What's up?
Hey, Chris, we're doing a live broadcast on YouTube right now.
No shit, Jason. No shit. I'm aware of that, dude.
Just
Give me a goddamn minute. I had to reset everything. Shit.
I'm gonna step on your yard in a minute.
I'm gonna do what you want to do. I don't care, man. Right now,
I'm gonna piss on your yard.
I don't care. I really don't care. You can do what you want, guys. I don't care right now. I'm not missing that kind of mood right now. I don't care. I don't care. Do what each one of you want to fucking do. I don't care right now. I'm in a bad mood. My shit broke down. I lost all my screens. The Rares got their ass kicked. We saw it. I said this was going to get their ass kicked. But that bad, I don't care. Do what you want to do. I'm in a bad mood. Now, if you want to ask me a question, go and ask me a question.
Well, you can see the banner down below. Jason had his rant to talk about the game yesterday and everything. So this is now your chance.
What game?
The floor is yours.
What game? That wasn't a game. That was just out there just getting a paycheck. That wasn't no goddamn game. I already said that. Well, we talked about that Saturday night. I talked about that Sunday morning. I already said the Raiders going to lose. They have no blocking. They have nothing. And what really, really, really pisses me off, I'm going to say this now, is that when I forgot who was hurt, when they was going to put Caleb Rogers out there and they pulled him back. I like, why? Then the announcer on a telecast said that, well, Pete Carroll's not, he said, I'm not here to develop players. I'm here to win now. What kind of bullshit was that? You know? What kind of bullshit was that? Then why you guys drafting players if you're not going to develop them? Okay? And I saw what you saw the office 10 sacks? They down there broke the freaking their own record. 11 sacks. Was that Jeff George in Atlanta when they sacked 11 times? They had 10. And if what's called they come out the game, they probably had 11, 12, 13 sacks. It's ridiculous. After 3 sacks or 4 sacks, 3 or 4 sacks, you need to, you know what? You're out. Bring them in. Did they make the adjustments? No. They did not make adjustments. Not like our offensive line sucks. We know we got injured players. 2 of injured. Glades didn't show up, but 2 injured players.
What's up, Michael?
2 injured players. Okay, we know that. I've seen other teams had injured players, and the guys that come in are still blocking. These fools couldn't block a leaf blowing in the wind. If a leaf in the wind, they, oh shit, what was to do? No, they sat there and let Geno Smith get the rest. Genty, 70 yards, I think it was. Yeah, he had a couple of good runs. But other than that, he couldn't run the ball. So why are you doing play action pass? The defense knows you're not going to run because you can't. So here's my thing. Firing Chip Kelly, it's not going to solve the fucking problem. The problems we solve when you start putting the guys in that can block.
You know, man.
You know, Shadir Sanders had a decent game for his first start. Yeah, I'll give him credit for that. But that 6-7 yard run for a screen pass was ridiculous. It was a bubble screen. Jason, was that bubble screen or was it a screen pass? Because I kind of had to watch the replay. I kind of missed it. But that's ridiculous.
Don't watch the replay. You'll hurt yourself. Trust me.
I didn't watch the replay. I had to go do a pee break, and I missed it. Like, God damn it. But anyway, I'm just upset that what the announcer said, what Pete Carroll said. I didn't hear him say that. I don't know if it's true or not. But he said, I'm not here to develop players. I'm here to win. Well, you can't win when your goddamn team is sorry. Make adjustments. Yeah. You know, it was. I knew it was going to lose, but I thought it would be a closer game than that.
I think everybody did. I was expecting a defensive battle, and it'd be like a 6-3 type win. Not that.
Well, I said Cleveland 17, I think 14. I think I got to go back and look, but I figured it'll be like maybe they win by a field goal or something like that, but not like that. Not nowhere near like that. They wasn't even in the game. First quarter, I looked at it 14-0. By the time I looked up, like, what just happened? We're not coming back from that. We can barely get 10 points. So how are we gonna get 14 or 17 or 20 to win? Not happening. I'm done, my rap. I'm sorry, guys. I was a little frustrated because I lost all my shit and I gotta get it all back. So give me a minute.
Well, you picked a good time to be in a bad mood and rant.
Yeah,
played out just fine. Yeah. You were in full character, my friend.
That's perfect.
Jason, you see my skin color? I'm always in a fucking bad mood.
So Mike Guerra says deja vu. Yeah, you know what's deja vu? Not only the team, but these goddamn podcasts where we're always complaining about the Raiders. We haven't had a good fucking show since the Titans game.
No, it wasn't even good then, Jeff. It was good. It was good for the Patriots game. That was good because we
didn't do a Monday show though.
No, but we did show. The night show, but it was good because we did show. We was happy. You had a good time in New England with all the stuff you did. That was a great show. I think we did the night later on. Even the Titan game wasn't really a celebratory show because shit, they're the worst team. They're worse than us. Or we're worse than them. We're
definitely worse than them now.
Well, they got an excuse.
That was the only Monday this season where we were coming back on the show and doing it after a win. We haven't experienced a win since then, or prior
to
the
Titans game.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
Even that felt like a loss.
In the Titans game, it was so great. I was at the game. It was fun. I'm being there. But even after that, it was like a big, yeah, woo, we whipped that. No, it was like, yeah, we won. So what? You know, it was that kind of atmosphere. You can go back and look at it. It was that kind of atmosphere me and Jeff had that Monday morning.
Oh yeah. So Gina flipping people off is hilarious. He did it like a scared little kid, all low and close to his chest. Yeah, except for this one. This was kind of bang right out in the open though.
Nah.
They got a perfect picture of him on this one. Pertaining to that, him doing that. Okay. Now I did say this last night with Jay and Will. You know, something needs to be done on the organization level to him. He needs to have some sort of ramifications from this because he's flipping off the people that pay his salary, the people that pay the money to be in that stadium, to purchase the tickets, you know, to travel to Vegas, to watch the games that you get paid to play. You get paid to play a goddamn sport that little kids and college kids and high school kids don't get paid. Well, NIL, but besides that don't get paid to play, and they have a passion for it. How dare you? And see that on his chest too, that C? He's a captain, and that's what you're acting like? That's not a captain I want to be around.
Nope.
So right there, you already know he doesn't have the respect of his team. The team doesn't like him, or the players don't respect him. There's no way they do. How can you have respect for a guy that does that shit? That comes out flipping fans off on the way off the field. You know, just total disrespect for everything. And he's shitting on the Shield right there by doing that too, to be honest with you. He's disrespected every great player that came before him and what they meant to this organization and what they meant to us as fans. So I take this as a personal attack on me and everybody else that's a fan of this team. And I think it's super disrespectful, and he can go fuck himself. I have no respect for this guy after this here, because that's a joke. You want to do that to an opposing team's fans? Go for it. I don't care. That's what I want to see. I want to see you walk out of KC Stadium and do that to their fans. Or as you're walking by their fans to leave the field at Allegiant and they're taunting and pissing you off, yeah, go ahead, flip them off. The league's going to fine you like they should here. I mean, you can't avoid it. I mean, Jesus Christ, they got pictures all over the place and video of him doing it, so he can't deny it.
He did that twice. He did in Seattle and he did the snap. There's only one other player, a quarterback, that ever flipped people off after a game, and that was Jeff George when the Raiders play Atlanta, when Atlanta cut Jeff George, Atlanta Falcons, and they beat him. He did that. Fine, do that there. Do that to the fans, the ownership, and all that stuff because they did you dirty. But you don't be in the Legion Stadium wearing a silver and black, wearing a goddamn shield, and flipping the fans off because they booed you. They have the right to boo you because you fucking suck. Excuse my language. I'm ranting today. You fucking suck. I know it's not all your fault. It's offensive line, but you still can make plays. That's what they pay you to do. They pay you to make plays. You know what? Getting sacked 10 times, yeah, okay, offensive line suck. But still, you got to do something else. You know what? Goal line scrimmage. If Chip, the former OC, sit there and say, I'm calling this, he was like, no. I'll see how defense set up. I'm calling this. And change the goddamn play. How many times have you seen Geno Smith audible? Anybody?
I don't think he does.
No.
Yeah, see?
Your answer. The lack of response is your answer.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think he does.
No.
He's even said it. He's even said he does. He doesn't. He's got to trust the play, trust the process, whatever. If Jeff hit the nail on the head with this whole situation of him flipping off the crowd and things like that. Here's the deal, Gino. If I was to look at him right now, standing across from him man to man, I'd say, look, all these guys up here that are wearing the jerseys and wearing the face paint and buying the stuff, they pay your salary. They have a right to boo. Okay? If you don't like it, pack your shit up and find another fucking job. Simple as that. Sorry I cussed, but when we're in the purgatory hell that we are as fans right now, it's almost like it's like a reflex now. It just irritates the shit out of me.
Well, yeah, I realize that your professionals. Oh, go ahead, John. Go ahead. That's you there. Boy.
But having said that, I also don't appreciate him doing it to other fans as well. Same as throwing snowballs back. I mean, that they were getting pelted with snowballs. They threw the snowballs back. I'm sure you guys remember with Lincoln Kennedy and Charles Woodson when they threw the snowballs back. And, the thing with Devontae Adams hitting that cameraman like he did and trying to make it like, oh, it was an accident. No, it wasn't. You can tell it was on purpose. Just little things like that. When you're going to be frustrated coming off the field. But you know what? You get paid millions of dollars to play a professional sport, act like a professional.
And you suck at it too, on top of that. You're not good. Sorry.
Well,
either he's got to be good enough to get a $35 million contract because there's a lot of guys out there that don't.
Yep.
That can still spin that ball just as good as he can. So he's got to appreciate the situation that he's in, the environment that he's in. And if you don't like the booing, then get off the field, go do your press conference, be respectful, and move on. And you know what? Come back next week and do better.
Like Jeff said, I'm gonna pay motherfucking customers. These things are not cheap. I paid to see good product on the field. I paid to see the Raiders. I paid to see the Shield. I expect you to play good. Quarterbacks have bad games. We all seen through the history of football. Some days good, some days are bad. But all your days been bad. And I'm a paying customer. I buy the Raider gear. We buy tickets. We did this and that. We watch on TV. We spend our Sunday afternoons watching on TV. We can do something else. I have a right to boo you if like you said, Jason. We're paying your damn salary. If it weren't for us, you wouldn't be here. And we don't like your performance, we're gonna boo you off the stage. And if you don't like it, then either get better or get out. Do something. Because you're not getting no respect from the Raider Nation right now. Because now, they already fired Chip Kelly. Guess who's next on the chopping block?
What's up, James Furpo?
I don't know who else is a scapegoat, but you don't like it, stop being a fucking kid. You're 30-something years old. Be a grown man.
Mm-hmm.
If I get booed like that, I'm like, fuck, was it that bad? Let me go see what I did. Okay, let me get better at that the next game.
Yep.
Because you totally suck. I mean, it's not 100% your fault. It's 95% your fault because the offensive line is bad. But you got to make plays. Even Burrows, when he had a bad offensive line, what did he do? He made plays. He had a balanced line, and he still went to the playoffs. But that means they did go Super Bowl.
And this is another example of us getting screwed with the schedule this year too. So we're coming off another embarrassing loss, and now we have to go to the Chargers. Who, I mean, what do you need to prepare for us? I mean, really, I mean, it's not that difficult to prepare
Just-
for our offense
there's
and our defense on top of that. I mean, it's not going to take much. It's really not. I mean, we have yet to win in SoFi, so that's already one strike against us there.
poor
We
Afakasi.
already lost to the Chargers on Monday night, so they've already got one up on us anyway.
Well,
You know,
everybody did.
could we still win? Highly unlikely, but and I know Nabman said that they should bench Gino for the first. I could tell you right now, unless that comes down from up above and Pete is forced to do that, he ain't benching Gino.
Nope.
There's no way he benches him. The guy's thrown 3 interceptions in one game. Can't really blame him entirely for those 10 sacks yesterday. That's the offensive line's fault.
He didn't throw an interception yesterday.
He did not throw an interception.
But he had to get sacked in time.
Games where he's thrown 3 interceptions, bad play calling. He's been hobbled and hurt in one game, and they still never took him out of the game. So it's not going to happen.
Every drive that we had, every offensive possession that we had yesterday, we had a 3rd and long. And I'm not just saying 3rd and 8 long. We're 3rd and 19, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 15. Every drive yesterday, we put either it was a false start, a holding penalty, or a sack. Well, 10 sacks. And then the beauty of it is 3rd and 19, we run a draw play against a run front. The other team had a run front. They knew they knew you were just going to run the ball on 3rd and 19. So just hand the ball out to Ginty. We're going to tackle him, get off the field, punt the ball.
Raiders.
Let's see. Yeah, Mark makes money off it. Yeah, exactly. Gino flipped off one guy knowing it would be confusing. Yeah, but it still looks disrespectful. You know what I mean? It's still
gotta be the bigger man.
It's the perception. Yeah, he could sit there and say, I was only flipping off 2 guys wearing Browns jerseys. Yeah, but you know what? Not for nothing. You've done shit like this in the past where you're such a negative asshole. Look at the issue with him at the Pop Warner there, where he's like, I make the big bucks. That's what they pay me the big bucks for. Dude, you don't run around saying that shit. What's up, Rorschach? What's going on, man? Tucker yesterday was terrible. Yeah, the whole team just was horrible. What's up, Jay? What's going on, my guy? Jason, it don't matter how much you get paid. Don't throw stuff at people if you don't want stuff thrown at you. In return, the players are still human and have the right to stand for themselves.
There's a part of that I agree with from the human element. But from a professional standpoint, coming from where I came from, people are going to throw shit at you. People are going to say stuff at you. They're going to call you names. You got to be the bigger person and walk away.
Well, like I said, you got to grow up. You got to grow up. Like I said, if the people booing you, there's a reason why they're booing you. You have to grow up, and you have to make yourself better. You have to go out there and say, nah, okay, this Sunday I got booed. I had a fucked up game. I'm gonna curse, so anyway, get used to it. I had a fucked up game this past weekend. But I'm gonna go out there next time, and they're not gonna boo. They're gonna cheer the hell out of me because watch my game. Does he does that? No. Like I said, most of it's not his fault. A lot of due to the offensive line. But then that's not the offensive line fault. That's the coaching fault.
You're saying the offensive line had no responsibility over those sacks yesterday?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
That was not 90% of that was not coaching. Jason, I'm going to let you finish.
Then let me finish. As I'm saying, though, it was a fault. That's the coaching fault. They saw the offensive line could not block these guys. Okay, you had Caleb Rogers ready to come out. We'll put him out to see what he does. He might do better. He might do worse. He's a rookie. Okay, let him learn. But they didn't do that. He's ready to go out, but they pull him back.
What's up, Adam?
That's the coaching fault. They saw that they knew what they saw what happened in Dallas. They knew that the defense line of Cleveland is way better than Dallas. Okay? and they still didn't make any adjustments to compensate for what they're going to have. That's why Junior Gonzaga got 10 times. Because they put this guy over here, this guy over here. Yeah, mix and match all you want to. You should have did that shit in preseason. Instead of having competition for JPJ, you should have competition for everybody on the goddamn line, maybe besides Colton Miller. But no, just JPJ is the only one that got singled out. I don't know if it was a Chip Kelly thing or I know it was a Pete Carroll thing or Brennan Carroll. But the one thing they need to do is adjust offensive line because they only got to play the Chargers, but they got Texans, and they're the number one defense in the league right now. That'll probably be like a 20-sack game with Will Anderson and stuff. All right, Jason, go ahead. I'm sorry. I just don't get that out. I'm still pissed off. I'm an angry black man.
So do we want to talk about the offensive line, Jeff, or no?
Nope. I got other stuff we're going to go with first.
Okay.
So we're going to go with, let me switch the banner up here, reactions. So your immediate reaction to the Browns game. So I'll have Chris go first in this one. What was the one moment you knew this offense was never going to score? Like, what was the point that you finally realized that there's no way we're going to score? Even though we did, but it was that was give me time. That doesn't really count.
The exact moment I knew they were going to score is when I saw the offensive line lineup. Who was out there? I said, the hell, but we ain't scoring shit. I was thinking to myself, like, yeah, what's his name? Going to break Derek Thomas' record, 7 sacks in a game. Almost did. But as soon as I saw the offensive line, I was like, yeah, we're toast. That's the moment I saw. And then, like, shit, they couldn't run the ball. Got hit in the backfield, like, multiple times. Had a couple of good runs.
We're going to cover that, too. So
yeah, okay.
Jason, what was your moment that you realized that we're just not going to score? We're not going to do what we need to do with this team?
When we got the interception, we're set up in the red zone, basically set up in the red zone, ready to hunt, ready to kill. There was that was 3 downs of atrocity that was just like, you got to be kidding. You didn't even, and it was the same last week when we played Dallas, with the strip sack, and it just like, that's when everybody likes to jump on that 63-point game against San Diego. That had a lot to do with the turnovers, not so much what AOC did, but AOC took advantage of those turnovers and turned them into touchdowns.
Right.
So when you get an interception that gets you down in the red zone, that has to be a touchdown. That's how you put the other team on notice that we're here to play. If you just do three plays, and I'm not saying the plays were bad, they just weren't executed. Okay. But if you don't score a touchdown there and you're kicking a field goal, you just gave the other team hope and motivation to come back out, and do what they're doing. Right about that time is when I texted you yesterday, Jeff, and I texted you, I said, you know what? If I was Cleveland, I wouldn't even throw the ball the rest of the game.
Yeah.
At this point, there's no, they could just run. They can run 3 and out. We can run 3 and out. Wear our punters out, and they're going to win the game because there was no moxie with that team, man. There was the offense. There's no sense of urgency. There's no. I know Brock was trying the best that he could. Even when Gino didn't get sacked, it just wasn't clean. And then when he did have a clean pocket and he had time, he was overthrowing. But also, too, on one of those throws that he threw to Trey Tucker let up and the ball was still in the air. Had he stayed full speed in 4th gear, he would have probably caught that ball and walked into the end zone.
So what was the moment you thought they wouldn't do? Because you listed like 5 things that happened in the game. What was the actual moment you saw they were going to score?
When I texted Jeff, and it was first quarter when we got that interception.
Well, I didn't get that text, man. So as I was saying, you just about 5 things
it was. I think the score was 7-3 at that point, Jeff.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is now turning into the Jason and Jeff show. Bye, guys.
What?
I don't know what the fuck his problem is, but I'm getting fucking tired of it.
I don't give a fuck you tired or not. I was just saying you ran by 5 things off. I was saying like what was moment though, but you said when they got in the red zone, and I didn't
Well,
score. I was just,
so
I was saying
what
that
I was doing was there was a moment, and I was impeding how those moments just correlated throughout the game. Does that make sense? They kind of all go hand in hand.
Yeah. Are we good?
Yeah,
no,
I'm fine.
I'm not. I got the Mondays.
Apparently.
Yeah, the Mondays, man, ever since the damn season started. Shit.
Somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
Fridays. Huh?
Somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
Yeah, I got the Mondays because it's like that every Monday after the Raiders play on Sunday.
I tell you what, Chris, how about this? This make you feel better?
I was like that during the game you talking about. Nah, Jason, I'm sorry.
I get what Jason's saying. He kind of elaborated a little bit more, but yeah.
I'm sorry, Jason. I'm just like, I mean, I'm just like, it's so you list about 5 of it. It's more than that. You can list like 10, 20 if you want to. That they
well, the 5 that I was expounding on had a lot to, I mean, I could come in here and just say, oh, when they kicked the field goal after the interception, you know, I mean, it got to be a little bit more prudent when we explain why. And using examples only helps.
I'm saying in one turn. I said off the line. I said, "Oh shit, we're in trouble because you got Garrett and then what's the name? The guy we could have Mason and all this stuff. They made some hell of plays. Nobody can block none of those guys. This Mason Graham, I wish we'd have took him. He's a rookie.
I can show it, James. See, here it is. Oh, there he is flipping.
Blur
it out. I didn't blur it out.
He made some good plays for a rookie. Yeah, well,
the video,
who of them got him? I don't understand that. But yeah, we did. We didn't.
The video that. Yeah, the video does more justice.
Oh God, yeah. No, but I get what Jason was saying though too. It's like, and I agree with them on that because it's like you get the interception, you got it in short field, and you can't even punch the ball into the end zone. We have to settle for a field goal. That's what pisses me off. Is that type of shit?
2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, we're settling for field goals when he makes them.
Yeah,
he missed one yesterday.
Yeah,
so it's like. The inability to just have any type of sustainability with offensive plays and moving the ball down the field, and people sit there and say, "Well, look what Brock Bowers did." That was late in the game, garbage time. They weren't playing us as strong. Myles Garrett was already on the sideline. He wasn't even out there. So yeah, of course, Geno had time to throw the ball. And of course, he's going to key on Brock Bowers because he's the best guy on the team to throw the ball to. He's going to catch it. He's going to get extra yardage. That's a guarantee. And he did just that. He had a phenomenal drive that where he was just catching them left and right and moving down the field. But we're showing up. We can't even get out of our own goddamn way. Offensive linemen tripping over each other. Quarterback that just can't see the field, doesn't have the chance to see the field. You got Genty being handed the ball, and guys, there was one point where he got the ball, and there were 5 Browns on him.
As soon as he got the ball,
take a step forward. The ball's in his hands for the first. He gets the ball, and boom, he's got 5 Cleveland Browns in his face already. 5.
They were in the backfield so fast that they could do the handoff. I like that. Damn, he's back there already. Soon he got the handoff. They were back there. They could have took it and ran for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody's mad at Bowers. Sonya's a huge Brock Bowers fan. Obviously, you can tell by the logo.
Don't be just mad at my boy, Chris. I'm not mad at Bowers at all. Bowers has nothing to do with that.
And he's another guy that's a victim in all this. Him and Genty are the 2 biggest victims on this offense right now. You got one a potential superstar, one that's already proved that he's a superstar.
Right.
And we just cannot use them adequately to do what we expect them to do to help us win games when we can't adequately get the ball in their hands. And it's not their fault. There really isn't. Yeah, but Genti takes some blame for some of his mistakes, but you cannot blame him. And people better not keep calling him a bust, because I've seen that way too much already. He gets the ball in his hands and he can't run because either we pick a dumbass play like, hey, let's run it up the A gap. Let's keep running up the A gap, knowing that our guys can't make the hole for him, especially against these guys that they just played yesterday. Because not only do you have Myles Garrett out there, you've got Mason Graham out there, then you get Schlesinger in there. You're not getting through those guys, and they proved it. Our offensive line is soft. It's soft like baby shit.
Yeah, you're gonna
move out of the way.
Like Jesus said, you're gonna draw a play on 3rd and 19. You ain't fooling
What's up,
shit.
Vincent?
You can run on first down and get -2. And you're gonna try to run the ball on 3rd and 19. Yeah, okay, that works. That works every time on Madden 26, but not in the real life.
Yeah, Carlson is definitely gone after this season. We'll have a whole new. Yeah, we'll have a. I'm telling you, if everything goes the way it should, we'd have a whole brand new team next year. They're gonna be a shit ton of new players.
Yeah, because they got a practice player, a kicker on a practice squad right now.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened with Carlson. I don't know why he's going so far south. Started last year.
Because he probably get that extension like what's going to do? The punter did, Cole. But Cole deserves it because he's only one thing that we can depend on. Yeah, one bad punt, but other than that, he's pretty much consistent.
His miss yesterday had a lot to do with the operation itself. It wasn't just him.
Yeah, the whole thing was just a shit.
That was a high snap. Cole had to rise up to catch it and hurry up and get it down. So it wasn't a good operation altogether to just pin that miss on just Carr. I know it goes down as a miss for him, but sometimes it was the whole operation.
Sometimes you'll see high snaps on other kickers stuff, and they recover from that and then do it. But you can't blame a player 100% of their fault when it's not their fault. When you got to do the snap, the placement of the ball, understandable. But he had some good snaps, and he still missed it before, not this game, but before. So I don't know what's
right. And I understand that, but I'm talking specifically yesterday.
Uh-huh.
And some of those too, if the operation isn't as smooth at a longer distance, it's harder. Shorter distance, 20, 25, 35-yard field goals, you can overcome that because it's just a matter of a half a
25 yards, basically a PAT now these days. So, yeah. If you miss something,
let me ask you this then. I already probably know the answer, but I want the chat to chime in too as much as possible on these questions. So why was the offense so bad? So, I mean, let's be real. Was it the execution failing? Do you think it was the coaches, or was it just the players quitting and giving up? Because it did feel like a lot like players were giving up. It felt like, to me, the offensive line knew they were outmatched, and it's almost like they weren't even trying, or they just didn't have the ability to try. So what do you consider like the real cause was yesterday's downfall on the offense? We'll start with Chris on that one.
No, you can start with Jason.
All right, we'll start with Jason.
Right. It's not the scheme. It's the inability of those offensive linemen to establish a block, sustain a block, and continue through. They can't do it. They're coming out the field with cleat marks on their chest plate, for God's sakes. That's ridiculous. That's for an NFL lineman, and it's not just one time. I hate to say it, but if you go back and watch some of those, and these ain't even blitzes, man. This is a 4-man pressure or 4-man run gap protection, and they're just beating the dog snot out of that interior line, and it's embarrassing. Putnam looks like he's holding on for dear life. As soon as the ball snapped, I feel bad for him. He looks like a woman in a parking lot trying to hang on to a purse from a purse snatcher. That's exactly what he looks like. He's just hanging on, and it's pathetic. And I don't think that's not coaching. That's ability. That's what are you doing in the weight room? What are you doing to prepare yourself as an NFL athlete? Because you've got to be superior. Now, am I saying Never mind. I'm done. I'm trying to be respectful to your platform here.
You're good. You're good, Chris. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's why I said Jason go first. I can take a quick nap.
Oh, Jesus.
No, I heard everything you said. You're absolutely right. Talking to a ex-offensive lineman, Jeff. Like I said, I think we discussed Saturday. You want to make the pancakes, not be the pancake. I don't know how many times Putman was on his butt. You can't block when you're sitting on your ass. He couldn't block anybody. And they were lost out there. And as far as them getting it up, I don't know. Did they have a skill set? Well, they should have the skill set because being in the NFL, you have to be one of the elite players out of college. You know, it goes in order. High school, you gotta be good to get that scholarship to get in college, and then college, you gotta be good to get drafted in the NFL. So it goes for 50,000 to 20,000 to 10,000 to whatever 1,000. So you got to be the best of the best in order to get NFL. And these guys surely are not the best of the best, from what I see.
No.
And there are some guys out there they should have got or could have got. Did Spytek do his diligence and get offensive line? No, because they probably went. Well, he came in late. I'm not gonna blame Spytek for a whole thing, but I'm gonna put blame on everybody. They saw what they did last year. They saw we had problems in blocking. They should have addressed that in the offseason. They should address that. And they did draft two guys, but they're not there. They're not ready. Well, I'm looking at what's going on the field. The guys that get out there are not fucking ready neither. So why not put the new guys out there? Because I'm still pissed off. That's one that really pissed off yesterday about that game. Is that Caleb Roberts coming out and pull him back. Why? Let him go out there and see what he can do. He might have had some good blocks. He might have missed some blocks. He's a rookie. Let him learn. I've seen other teams put rookie offensive linemen out there, and they kind of subpar. They do all right, but in the following couple of years, they got better, and now they're freaking all pros. We don't do that. Well, Miller wasn't good in the first couple of years. He got better as it go along. Then the third, fourth year, he is like, sure, they're all pro. But we're not giving the guys a chance to prove themselves. Because anytime a rookie, Mason Graham, out there pancaking your ass, something wrong. And you've been league what? How long? 3 years? 2 years?
Who?
Putnam, the guy Putnam. He's in the league.
This is his second year.
The second year?
Second or third, I think, on him.
So he's not a rookie. So come on, man. Come on, man.
No,
he hasn't played very much, though.
No, we were overmatched on every aspect of that front line. The one that really, I think, took a beating yesterday was Forsyth. He wasn't getting much help out there with Garrett on him. You know, I mean, I don't think there's many left tackles in this league now or even in the past that could handle Garrett by himself. Only because this is the first time you've seen him on camera playing against us. Like, I mean, how often do you watch Browns games? And I'll tell you what, man, that mother is huge, man. He is a fucking monster. He has what Max Crosby doesn't have, and that's that physical strength. I mean, you just look at him and go, "Oh shit,
he's massive."
He's got muscles on top of muscles. I mean, the guy is jacked to the max. Max isn't. Max doesn't have a muscle build. Max works with his speed,
his finesse,
athleticism,
yeah.
You know, Myles Garrett will bowl you over no matter who you are because he's that strong, and he's quick off the line too for a big dude. But he will overpower you easily. He'd knock me on my ass in 2 seconds. I know he would. I'm not dumb. I know I would not be able to hold him back. There's not many people out there that could.
That's why that's why a lot of times league in sacks, because he knows exactly he can not only push you, but he can go around you too. He's not only big and strong, but he's fast too. Yep. So what chance you got? Forsyth, I knew it was gonna be a big problem for him. I said, yeah, well, even Cole Miller probably can handle a little bit better, but he's still the 8. You know, regardless.
So what's up, Roscoe? I just want to mention this here. He goes, that's why Vrabel, no Johnson didn't come here. Vrabel had no shot of coming here.
He wasn't coming
because the
in.
season wasn't even over for the Raiders. The Raiders still had.
We knew where he was going.
Yeah.
And Jared Mayo got fired 5 minutes after our game started. Patriots had the 1:00 game. We had the 4:30 game. Their game ended. The people were still in the parking lot, and Jared Mayo was walking out of the facility with his box of stuff from his office. As soon as I was told that he was fired, the first thing I said to the crew I was with watching the game, I said, "Well, there goes Vrabel coming to the Raiders." We had no shot at it because you knew exactly where he was going to go. He played there. He likes it there. The fans adore him.
They love him.
Robert Kraft loves the guy. There was no way he was going to go anywhere else. So we had no shot of getting Vrabel. Even if Jared Mayo was still with the team, I don't think Vrabel would have come here regardless anyway. I would have liked it. But once Mayo got fired, that writing was on the wall on that one. That was over. And Johnson, he wasn't going to come here. What did we have for him to build on? Pete thought that he could come in here and change the culture, and the culture is still the same, if not worse. There is no culture. There's no identity with this team. I keep saying it. I feel like
you're wrong, Jeff.
Broken record.
You're wrong, Jeff. We have a culture. It's called a losing culture. So you're wrong about that.
True. You know what, Chris? I'll give you that one.
But see, you know what? Ben Johnson come here. Well, what happened when Ben Johnson was Chicago? They were terrible last year in keeping Caleb off his butt. What did Ben Johnson go to do? He probably went and told him, like, I'll coach for you guys, but it's one thing you got to do. You got to build this goddamn offensive lineup so I can make plays and call plays for my quarterback.
Yeah.
And that's why he went there. I don't think Raiders even gave him the opportunity to know, well, we're going to draft what we want to draft. Well, I'm not coming there. If they even had a chance at him.
Yeah, play calling was terrible. Gino was mostly the issue too. Started with the play calling and trickled down from there. Yep. Downs needs Blues story time. No, he doesn't. We can't be pass blocking 85% of the plays. We should be 60-40 run blocking. And you know what? And I agree with that too. You know, if we keep doing these pass blocking schemes, or you keep going for the passes, you're basically just putting your offensive linemen back on their heels right off the bat.
Yeah.
So it was 40. I just saw it. 44 pass attempts. So 44 snaps. These guys are dropping back. You know, they're going into pass protection. So you're already behind the 8 ball at that point, because those defensive guys are coming at you full speed, and you're if you don't get your feet set fast, you're going to get run right over. And that's exactly what we saw during this game. That defensive front just bull rushed them. And what did that turn into? Turned into 10 sacks. So I've said this from the freaking first preseason game. If this O-line doesn't get fixed, this is going to be a long fucking season. And here we are. Chip Kelly gets fired, I think, a few weeks too late. Not that it would have saved us. We still probably wouldn't have made the playoffs with this team, because we just don't have the talent. The talent's not there. Do you guys agree or disagree with that?
100% agreed. There's no talent there. It's just like one of the commentators yesterday during the game said that this starting offensive line that we put out on the field yesterday, they wouldn't even be on another team.
Yeah.
No, I heard that. You're right.
I heard that. He said he called it right. He called the whole thing. He said this offensive line, and it's the worst in the league, wouldn't be on any other team. They wouldn't even be backups. They'd be on practice squad guys, because that's the one thing they did. They tried to address the defense, try to address the receiver room, the running back room, and the quarterback room. Okay, which one of those work right now? None of them. The main thing that you didn't fix, and John Madden said that when he was a coach, you got to have the trenches. And he always say that, trenches. You got to have the trenches. We don't have a trench. We have
game is one.
We don't have a trench. I don't know what we have.
Yep. So Navman, and I agree with that too. That makes sense as to why they're both, the highest ranked as far as that. But they're both doubled and triple teamed for two different reasons. Max, because of his speed, and he can outmaneuver pretty much any offensive lineman. But with Myles Garrett, it's more of a strength thing. he can bull rush just about any offensive lineman out there. And if you don't have a second or third guy on him, forget it. So yeah, they are doubled and tripled the most in the league, but for two very different reasons. Because Max can't do what Myles Garrett does, and Myles can't do what Max does too. Max has that finesse. Myles Garrett doesn't. And the other thing too is what Rosetown just said too about having Genti out there chipping Garrett. That's what the hell is he gonna do? That's like a fly flying up against Jason's side of his head, and he's like, oh, what the hell was that? It makes no impact. It's not gonna do anything.
Thanks, Jeff.
You're welcome.
Unless
there's nothing up there to do damage to it, so
whatever.
Unless the jalapeno cover flies, yeah, there's a different story.
Ooh, bringing the jalapenos back into it. Jim Harbaugh would have been here if Josh McDaniels finished off the 2023 season.
Nah, he was.
We had a number 2 spot, and he got fired. And AP stepped in, won 6 games, 8-9, set us up with number 13 pick. I ain't mad at Bauer's pick. He's a legend.
Harbaugh was never.
I don't think Harbaugh would have come.
He was never coming. He said he was going to Chicago, and then San Diego was the next choice. Chicago didn't pick him up, so San Diego did. He was never.
He wanted a turnkey roster.
But there will always be that what if. What if we had a solid O-line, a younger, more athletic QB? Would Chip have looked the same? He dealt the hand he was given. Yeah, I get that. There's always going to be that. There's always going to be the second guess and the woulda, coulda, shoulda. The hindsight's 2020. All that shit. Just talent is just not there on this roster. So
where's the common denominator and the lack of talent come from?
It's poor decision making on this roster, and whoever's ultimately
how about the frequent turnover of the front office?
Well, that's the other thing. You don't,
because the philosophies change from minute to minute. As soon as you change a front office, you're changing a philosophy. You're changing a draft philosophy and your roster philosophy. And when you go from Mike Mayock to Dave Ziegler to Telesco to Spytek in a matter of 5 years, there ain't going to be any talent on there because each one of them are going to have their own vision. And then the coaches are going to have their vision too of what they want with the players. And so just like last year, the people that we let walk away, I understand why Spytek let them walk away because he didn't have the fundamental scouting that he needed to retain those players on his roster moving forward. So I understand that. I don't. Us as Raider fans, we knew what they were because we'd been watching them all year, and we're like, letting Chase on go and Spillane go. Those two guys should have been re-signed. I get it.
At the minimum, Chase on minimum should have been re-signed. I would like Spillane, but at least minimum Chase on because we know that pass rush on the other side where Kuntz is non-existent. Snowden is not there. Nobody's there on that side opposite Max. I would have kept Chase on because the year he played for us, he did pretty well. But at least I would have kept him. If you couldn't pay Spillane, okay, fine. Keep Chase on. He won't cost that much. But then, like I said, Spytek came in late and then didn't have a chance to evaluate everything and let him walk. So he did that. Now you got to look at what's wrong with his team. Well, the first thing is the offensive line. So you got to work on that. Secondly, the defense opposite Max. Max goes out there 110, 20, 30%. He does what he can, but he cannot do it alone. Last time we checked, fellas, as football games play with 11 versus 11, not 1 against 11. So he can't do it all by himself. So fix that side, help him out. The middle, is what it is. But he's fixed the edges. That's Spytek's job next year going forward. Offensive line and the edge. Those are 2 main things they need to do.
Ooh, this is big news. So it looks like Joe Burrow is going to start on Thanksgiving against the Ravens.
Yeah.
I know it's not Raider news, but I think that's a big deal.
Oh, he's fine.
He's going to be back that soon.
He's healthy, huh?
They were trying to get him back this week, but I think since they got a short week.
I picked him up a couple of weeks ago in a couple of my fantasy leagues, just in the chance that he might start. I don't need him in one of them because I have Josh Allen and I have Mahomes, so he's just going to sit there. And trade deadline's gone, but I look at it this way: nobody else can get him.
Yeah. You know what? Here's a deal.
I'm dirty that way. That's the way I play fantasy. Even if I don't need a guy, I take him.
It's a good deal. Why don't you trade our whole starting offensive line and Zamir White to Cincinnati for Burrows? How about that?
Even Cincinnati wouldn't take our offensive line.
No.
Well, they had one of them, so they do. No. That's all we.
To be quite honest with you, I think we should call the Birmingham Stallions and see if we can get a couple players from them in a trade.
Oh, USFL, whatever it's called now, the UFL.
Yeah, United Football League or whatever, USFL.
Well, yeah,
UFL or whatever it is.
It's the X that the UFL got called it. I don't know, whatever it is. But oh, that's what they're talking about the fantasy league.
Yeah, Josh Allen ain't looking too hot lately. He only got me 8 points this past week, but I still won by like 50. Go figure. What's up, Donuts?
Duncan.
For that, it's afternoon for me, not for them. It's still West Coast.
No.
So this leads to our next question now. So the fallout from yesterday, the bad game, the consistently bad offensive play calling. So now Chip Kelly's firing and the fallout from it. So Chip Kelly's out. Honest question. Do you guys think this fixes anything, or is this just the Raiders changing the nameplate on the office door? Just the product's not going to change. It's going to be the same shit. Do you honestly think we're going to see a different variation of this offense going into next week?
Ooh.
Good.
It doesn't change shit because it was the same old offensive line. Made the play calling be a little better because I understand that Greg Olsen probably going to take over the play calling. I don't know if that's true or not, but probably so. Let's go with the same old shit because maybe different play calling, maybe call a play call different situations because, like I said, the thing was that last week, Jason, the Dallas when it was 3rd and 2, and they tried a quarterback sneak. Who calls that play on 3rd and 2? Maybe they'll change a little bit, but it won't change it better where we all of a sudden we're an offensive dominating team now. Because if Greg Olsen take over, we know Greg Olsen's history. We know what he did with Derek Carr and all that stuff. But the only way they're going to change is if Greg Olsen can come in and say, we got to change the offensive line. We got to put Rodgers in there. Maybe we try Grant out. Say Grant's not ready, we'll get him ready. We got to change the offense. Maybe put Glaze at right tackle and put Grant at right tackle. Grant at right guard. Put what's the name? Grant at right tackle, and maybe get Rodgers at left guard. Change up a little bit to see what happens. Because what do we got to lose? We're not gonna have a winning record. That's apparent. We're not going to the playoffs. The only thing we're fighting for right now is the draft pick. In order to get a top pick, we got to keep losing. In which the way this team looks, we probably will keep losing because the next 6 games is against some defensive teams, especially the Texans. I can't wait to see that Texan game and see how many sacks they get in that game. I'm a Raider fan, but I'm also like reality. The reality is that if they don't change the offensive line, no matter what offensive coordinator bring in, it's not going to make a freaking difference. Not one bit. So we'll see what happens. I'm done.
So before you go any further, I want to bring something up here real quick that I just saw. Hang on. Where was I? Here it is. Nope, not that one.
Well, out. Now, Greg Olsen, you're in. Let's go, Raider Nation. Let me know what you think.
I'll replay it.
What is good? What is good, Raider Nation? It is a hot day on this Monday for Raider News. Chip Kelly, out. Tom Bickwell, out. Now, Greg Olsen, you're in. Let's go, Raider Nation. Let me know what you think.
So he is
What is
now
good?
he is now the official offensive coordinator. It was confirmed.
It's confirmed. Okay.
So it's official. He's our guy now for the rest of the season.
It only makes sense. He's got previous experience. He's got previous experience as being an interim OC. He did it once for us before.
Yep.
You know, so and he knows the playbook. So the playbook isn't going to change, you know, so don't expect us to change the offense because you don't change the offense in week 11. You just don't do that.
No.
But there might be some little differences as far as what his game plan will be, as far as, you know, maybe establishing a run a little bit quicker, get it moving. And then also too, is he going to hold? Here's the drawback: is Pete Carroll allowing the offensive coordinator to dictate the starting lineup, or is it Pete Carroll's call who starts, or is it Chip Kelly's? Because if you're the offensive coordinator, it should be his responsibility to put the 11 guys out there at any given time, whatever personnel he wants to run at that point, if he wants to do a 3x1, 12 personnel, 13 personnel, if he wants to go 2-back set, single back set, empty back set, you know, he's the one that should be dictating which personnel go out there for those plays. So is it Pete Carroll that was doing that I want to see these guys in there, including the offensive line? Okay. I don't know if you guys caught this, but what the hell is Kappa doing playing center?
Make that
make sense. Make that make sense.
That's a good question, Jason. That's a good point. Who is dictating who's starting offensive line? Is it him or his son say, "Hey, Dad, start this guy off his line. I think he's better." Well, that's a good question. We don't know the answer to that, but like you said, the offensive coordinator should determine who's better playing on the line through the scheme I'm running. Who's better? This guy is better in the power blocking. This guy's better than zone blocking. But yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question, Jason. I like that.
Ain't nobody on that offensive line going to be power blocking.
Well, I said, for example, you know, who is better at doing what?
Oh, I know, but I'm just making sure that our chat understands where we're coming from. That there's nobody on that offensive line that can power block. Zone block is about the best we can do, and it's just a matter of getting a hook, or because you're not going to get any power leverage with these guys. They don't. I mean, the Dallas game, I saw Meredith get knocked down with one hand. The defensive tackle's engaged with Parham and reaches out with his left hand and knocks Meredith on his butt with one hand.
He's all had to Putnam.
Come on.
Putnam was sitting out more.
Putnam yesterday was on skates, man.
What's up, Moval?
He was on skates. So,
oh, yeah. What do they call it? Those roller derby skates, the old metal wheel skates? That's what he was on. You guys know about those.
Big Luck says, I'm interested to know that feeling in the locker room now. A bunch of people didn't like Kelly. I'm sure it's like a dark cloud removed. You know, I'm sure there's an air of freshness in that locker room right now. You know, especially obviously on the offensive side, because you know he was butting heads with certain people. He had to have been. You knew Genty wasn't happy. Did anybody pay attention to Genty's reaction even after he scored the touchdown and went and sat on the bench? He looked pissed, like he wanted nothing to do with being there. He was miserable. It's like, motherfucker, you just got a touchdown. At least be somewhat excited. You're leading rookies in touchdowns at 8 right now. But that's just how miserable everybody is on this team. That even when you do something, he didn't even celebrate. He scored the touchdown, dropped the ball, and went right back to the sidelines.
Yep.
You know, which is fine. Yep. I agree with that. Especially when you're losing. You're losing and your team's playing that bad. You score a touchdown, you drop the ball, or you hand it to a ref, shut your mouth and get back to the huddle or get back to the sideline. what are you celebrating for? You're still fucking losing. I hate it when guys do that. Even when we get a first down and the player will go, oh, first down. Just get the huddle and shut up. You're losing, dumbass.
Even Gina went to go congratulate me. He was like, kept walking. Like, hey, touchdown. He just kept walking. Like, whatever, man.
He just looked so pissed off yesterday. And I feel bad for the kid because
Can you blame him?
he's probably sitting there going, why the hell did I get drafted by this team? I could have been so many other different places and had a much better season. You put him on any other I'm telling you, you put him on any other team in this league, he's rookie of the year, hands down.
Yep.
We are that bad. Our offensive line is that bad.
I agree.
If I could give one message to Genty, and I'm not saying it, I'm not saying it's a direction, but just one message to him. Just remember today's misery. Remember today's misery because tomorrow's glory is going to be that much better, and appreciate it when it comes.
It will come. It's just going to take
time. It will come. It will come. The team is, I mean, every NFL franchise goes through patterns like that. Okay. I mean, even in the last 22 years, we've had patterns of success. You know, we had the 2016, 2017, 2015, 2016, 2017, a lot of progression. And then 2017, there was regression. And that's why, and I honestly don't think Jack Del Rio got fired because of the regression. I think he got fired because Mark wanted John Gruden.
Yeah, that's
it was a lover boys trip that he was on, and this is coming from Greg Papa, and probably one of the reasons why Greg Papa got fired by the Raiders is because he voiced his opinion about that this would never be acceptable to bring back John Gruden. And everybody now people are clamoring, bring back Gruden again for the third time. No.
You know why?
No, that ship is sailed. Appreciate what we had back in the early 2000s.
Why Mark Davis wanted Gruden? He wanted Gruden because his dad had him. He had success. He wanted Gruden because he wanted Gruden to take control of all football things. He didn't want to do all that. He wanted Gruden to take over. That's why he gave that big contract and gave him all the power. That's why he wanted Gruden. Not because Jack Del Rio failed. Is the point that Gruden's available. I'm gonna pay him all this money and get him off the networks and just run the whole team. Just do like did when my daddy was alive. That's all he wanted. We know the reason why. But then after that, everything went downhill. Mark Davis knows his left hand from his right hand. He already said that. So what you do? Bring in football guys who know football, and he's trying to do that now, but too late. But like you said earlier, firing head coaches, firing offensive coordinators, firing all these coaches doesn't change anything because what changes is not in front of us. It'll change, but the field, they'll change the field. You have to change, evaluate these guys, putting the right players in the right spots, putting a player in the right play to be successful. None of these coaches are doing that. So I don't know if it's an ego trip with Pete Carroll, because when the reporters made the comment made that remark on TV, I'm not here to develop, I'm here to win. I said that's some bullshit. I'm still that's one thing that really pissed on yesterday game when he said that. Like, what the fuck, Pete? I know he's not here a long term. I know he's not here. If he's here next year, I don't know. I don't think Mark Davis is going to fire him right away, but who knows?
Well, from Pete Carroll's standpoint, from his standpoint, being as old as he is, as long as he's been in the game, and as many coaching jobs that he's had, coming in, his objective was not to come in and rebuild, but I'm pretty sure he seriously thought he could do something with this roster, and that's not the case. And when we were going into the preseason, I myself even thought that just Pete Carroll alone is going to give us two to three more wins than what we had last year. Just the mere fact, because I thought what we did last year, there was about 3 or 4 games that it was coaching that was the biggest issue. That wasn't the play. The players were doing everything that they could, but some of the decision making and the play calling and the formations on some of the defensive calls that they were making were putting us in bad situations, not good situations. So to tarry back to what the Pete Carroll thing is, yeah, he said that, and we can disagree with it, but you have to understand why he said that is because I'm not here to develop. I'm here to win. That's why he came in. He came in to win. Unfortunately, somebody forgot to tell him that there's not a whole lot of players on this roster that's going to give you a chance to win, my friend. So you're probably going to have to switch the dial over to teaching and making these players better than what they are. Developing some of the younger players. And if that's not, and I think that's going to be an issue when they debrief this season. Pete Carroll is going to be still here at the end of the season. I don't think he's going to get fired during the season. I think that discussion between him, Mark Davis, and the rest of the management and front office is going to be, we're in rebuild mode. Do you want to be a part of this or not? And let him make the decision.
What? Blaming Cam Ward on Tennessee. Remember, he's a rookie, so they got an excuse for that. We don't. We're supposed to have this veteran quarterback who wins like 10 games the last 2 years. They have Cam Ward. He's a rookie. So if there's an excuse, I can give you that excuse if you want to. Don't have to. We have a veteran quarterback, and he still can't do shit. I don't think Cam Ward has 13. Was it 14 now or 13 interceptions this year? I don't think he has that many, but ours do.
Yeah. And go ahead.
I wouldn't be surprised if, the playbook's not going to change. I get that. But I wouldn't be surprised if we go back to a little bit more of like a basic offense. Basically what I think we really, really need to do, especially against the Chargers, is we need to come out and just run the ball. Because we can't abandon the run after one series and all of a sudden it's like, it's not working. Let's switch to throwing it. Because you're just not building that consistency with that offensive line, because the offensive line is going to continue to get pushed back. They need to, like Frank said, they need to move forward. And by moving forward, they need to run the ball more so we can establish that. Get this offensive line moving in a positive direction. Let them slowly start to build confidence. Like when they get in the huddle, like, wow, man, we just got a 10-yard run. You know what I mean? Like the normal bullshit you talk about in the huddle while the quarterback's getting the play in his head. Sit there and talk about, hey, listen, man, that was a great, we need to keep doing this. Be an advocate as the quarterback. Be an advocate for your guys up front and push to have running plays. Don't keep kowtowing to like, oh, yeah, we're going to throw the ball. Yeah, you're a quarterback. I know your goal is you want to throw the ball as much as possible, but you got to do what's best for this team. And dropping back 44 times is not what's best for this team. You just kill any sustained drive you have when you throw 3 times in a row. Next, we're 4th and 10 or 4th and 8. We ain't getting that first down.
But
no way.
Jeff, as offensive lineman, you play. What's the greatest feeling blocking when that run back?
Especially when a guy blasts right by you for like 10, 15 yards.
Yeah, when run back's behind you, you're blocking out, you're making that hole, and he runs like 10, 15 yards. Don't that mean you're like, yeah? That's what we're not doing. We're not. I don't know. I'm not offensive lineman, so
yeah. If you get the running game started early and often and established, it definitely helps the confidence of the offensive line going forward, both in run and pass. Perfect example of why when you establish the run and you have it, and mind you, 4-yard and 5-yard runs are effective. Okay, don't abandon it just because you got a 4 or 5 yard. You get a 4 or 5 yard run, then why not do it again?
They pitch in front. That means third down.
The example
shorter. Yeah.
The example that I'm going to give is in another game that was played yesterday between the Colts and the Chiefs. Up 20-9 in the second half. And Taylor only got 3 carries in the second half.
Yeah.
And Gino tried to flip me off, but it got intercepted.
What's up, Diesel? Welcome in, brother.
But that's an example of it. The Buffalo Bills last year in the playoffs, they quit feeding the ball to Cook, and what did that do? They, after a couple incompletions, does 2 things: one, it stops the clock, and 2, you just lost it down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you run the ball and you gain 5 yards, the clock is running, you gain 5 yards. Right? Now, 2nd and 5 and 3rd and 5 is a hell of a lot better than 2nd and 10, 3rd and 10.
Good.
So establish the run, but you have to establish it and you have to be consistent and you have to stay with it. Now, I know they gave Genty, he got 17 carries yesterday for 50 yards. Okay. It could have been better. It could have been better because it's not only, if you're just, because there was a point in the game I thought, well, they're just giving him the ball just to show that they gave him the ball. Well, why didn't you do that in the first quarter when the score was still 7-3? And wait until 14-3 to give him. Now we're going to run him the ball. Okay. Well, when it's 7-3, if you establish the run when it's 7-3, now when it's 14-3, you can still run the ball effectively.
Well, like Chip Kelly, soon, like you said, if Genty run the ball, like say first down, he runs for 5, then the next play he runs, he gets -2. We're banning the run. We're down with the run. Dude, most running backs get better running the ball. We all know that as the game progresses because it wears the defensive lineman out. If you keep running the ball consistently, it's going to wear them out eventually. But if you're going to run like 8 times, 9 times, 70 times yesterday? Wow, that's a lot for Genty. No, it's not. You should run 20, 25 times a game on the average. Not every down, but run enough to keep the defense honest. When you're running and you get sacked in the backfield, that happens to every running back. Even Saquon Barkley get hit in the backfield. All these great running backs get hit in the backfield. It just happens. But if you stop running because of one bad play, that's it, we're not running no more. Then basically tell defense who's going to throw, so they just pin their ears back and say, who's going to rush the quarterback. And that's exactly what they did yesterday. And that's exactly what Dallas did last week.
Getting back to Chris's point when he asked me about, what's the greatest feeling, I still remember to this day because it's one of the greatest games we had when I was playing. We had a running back run for over 200 yards in a single game. And every other play, it felt like he was running up my left side or my right side. And between myself and my left guard and my right guard, we just blew that defense open. And we did this all game long. Our quarterback barely threw the ball that game. And they knew it was coming. They couldn't stop it. So when you want to feel good, and again, that was 20-something years ago, and I still think about that to this day. It was like one of the greatest games I ever played in. And how well we ran the ball that day. I mean, it was insane. And he wasn't running for like 5 yards. I mean, he was ripping these things off for like 20 yards, 30 yards. He even had like a 60-yard touchdown at one point. And as he takes off running, and you watch his number getting smaller as he's pulling away from you, it's like, damn, that felt good. It's like you go to the halftime, it's like you're not even gassed. You're just so excited because you're playing so well. This is what this team needs. They need games like this. You've got a guy in the backfield that can do this. You got a guy that can break a tackle and take off for the touchdown, and he's gone. You tell me that's not a boost to your offensive line. Oh, fuck, hell yeah, it is. If we could get that A gap and get those gaps in the middle to work, which they don't right now, but if those start working, you're going to see a difference in the offensive line. You're going to see the confidence come up because now they're in that mindset that we can open holes. If we can open these holes and give room for Genty to run, look what this son of a bitch can do. Once he gets past the second level, which is your linebackers, it's clear sailing. He's going to out-juke any one of those corners and safeties that are back there. Yep. He's not going to get tackled easily. He's just not going to let them do it.
You saw happening that one good run.
One thing. This offensive line needs one thing, and it's a confidence boost. And I hope that when Greg Olsen takes over, well, he is taking over. Once he gets this shit going, and they get to practice today, tomorrow, whatever game plan they're instilling for next week, I hope it's a heavy run game. That's what I'm expecting to see next Sunday is a heavy run game. Geno throw the ball no more than 20 times tops in this game and just run it down their throat. I don't care if it's Mostert. I don't care if it's Love. I don't give a shit who it is. As long as it's Genty and whoever else, just run the goddamn ball. Build the confidence in this O-line because they need that more than anything. They need that more than hitting the weight room. They need that confidence. And that will start to turn things around. But then they'll all be going next year because we'll have a whole new offensive line.
Do you think that Greg Olsen is going to change the offensive line this week or what?
What you going to change it to? There's nothing. He doesn't have the
I'm
talent.
talking putting the rookies in, like Caleb Rogers and Grant.
I would kind of hope so. I mean, unfortunately, he's taken over with a no Colton Miller, no JPJ, so he's forced to go into this with this ragtag bunch of offensive linemen we have right now, plus a couple of rookies. I would definitely, I mean, the fact that Caleb Rogers was actually going to get into the game and they pulled them back, I would like to see him get some serious play time in this game for sure. No two ways about it. He should be out there. Their defense doesn't scare me. I'm sorry. San Diego's defense, I mean, the Chargers defense does not scare me.
Don't feel bad. I call them San Diego too.
I do it all the time.
I still call the Redskins and San Diego Chargers.
So. Oh, I always call them the Redskins. I refuse to call them anything else.
But on that point,
what's up, Jack?
Like I said, because you look at the games and like games, some running backs have good games, some running backs don't. But as the game progresses, if you constantly run the ball down their throat, the defense is going to get tired. Eventually, they're going to get worn out. If you keep the heavy dose of running, and maybe like I said, Gino, throw the ball 20 times, none of these bubble screens, none of these little, what they call it, screen passes, then he can get the ball down the field because now you make a defense honest. Play action pass only works when you're running the ball. If you get negative 2 yards each time you run the ball, how does that work? Because you're not fooling anybody. That's what Chico is called. Why do you run play action pass out of a shotgun when know damn well you can't run the ball under center? So I don't know. Maybe Greg Golson Company, like you don't run the same playbook, but you know how to call the exact same plays that Chip Kelly did. You call different plays in certain situations. So maybe it worked, maybe it won't. Hopefully they'll start looking better. If we're gonna lose, fine, we lose. But I want to be in the game at the end, not the game over in the halftime. Where it's like 21 to 3 at halftime. Like this game's over with because no way Raiders getting 21, 20, 23 touchdowns in the second half. They couldn't get one touchdown in the first half. You know? So if the game's close, we lose on a field goal or whatever, fine. I'm not gonna be happy we lost, but I'm happy that we were competitive. Especially scoring points. That must be the Skins. To see what
so real quick, I know you guys probably both looked at the stats. So I just want to run through the stat aspect of this game. Okay. So we'll start with us. So we'll compare quarterbacks. So Gino was 30 for 44, 285, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. Sanders was 11 for 20, 209 yards and a touchdown and 1 interception. Now, somebody that I'm in a chat with made comment that, oh, he had a tremendous game. I'm like, referring to Sanders. I'm like, and he was a Sanders guy. And it's not Leo. It was someone else. I'm like, he really didn't have that great of a game if you think about it. He threw short passes, and these guys turned some of these into, let's see, a 66-yard touchdown, a 52-yard pickup, a 39-yard pickup. Judy, 3 targets, 1 catch for 39 yards. So you add those 3 numbers up, and that means the rest of his yardage was only like about 70 yards, roughly. So he did not have like this superstar tremendous game. Yeah, he won the game. That's all that ultimately matters. But everybody touting him is like, oh, this is why we should have drafted him. You honestly think he would be any better behind this offensive line? Nope. He wouldn't be.
He had 2 big plays, 2 big huge plays for 100 and what?
But that also means we wouldn't have a running back. That means we'd still be stuck with Zamir.
So he had 2 big plays for 100, almost 130 yards, and that count for 9 or 8% of what he had total. So that's you said big game. Yeah, he had 2 big plays.
Yeah,
but that's it.
Judkins ran the ball 16 times for 47 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had a damn good day. All right. Genty was 17 for 50. Gino was 3 carries for 8 yards. On the receiving side, so we had Tyler Lockett lead in overall. He had 5 targets, 4 catches, 62 yards. His long was a 33. Genty had 8 targets, 8 catches, 58 yards, and a touchdown. So I mean, he had a combined 108 yards total offense. So Genti did not have a bad day. He had a pretty decent day by his standards. You know, he had a good day. So it's 100 yards, 1 touchdown, 8 catches. I mean, fantasy number wise, just his receiving stats alone are freaking tremendous. You know, and Brock Bowers had 9 targets, 6 catches for 55 yards. He had a good day. I'll take that from him.
Let's say he's a tight end, so you know.
Yeah. I didn't even realize during the game that Ian Thomas had that many. He had 4 targets, 4 grabs, and 36 yards. Michael Mayer only had 1 target, 1 catch for 14.
Ian Thomas had that many? Don't seem like it. I was looking at it and
Yeah,
like
he had 4 for 4.
It didn't
So
seem like it.
Here's the shocker. This is the one that amazed me. So Trey Tucker had 3 catches for 28 yards. You want to take a guess on how many targets he had?
12.
I think he had 11 targets.
12.
He had 10.
10? Okay.
10. Yeah.
I mean, seven balls were either in and out of his hands or where he couldn't catch them, or they were deflected or knocked down. Or
there were 3 overthrows.
Throw passes, yeah.
But 10 targets for him. That's a lot. That's a lot for him.
It is.
That one kind of blew me away. Now you go to their side on the ball, on the receiving. So you had Sampson, who's a running back, 3 targets, 2 catches, 59 yards, and a touchdown. He had that 66-yard touchdown.
Screen pass thing.
Fannin, their tight end, 6 targets, 4 catches, 40 yards. Jerry Jeudy, 3 targets, 1 catch, 39 yards. He did get banged up in the game, though, didn't he? I thought.
Who's that?
Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
He wasn't in that much.
He went out a little bit.
So, I mean, the offenses, neither side was more dominant. I mean, if anything, we had the better offensive numbers. So let's just look here now. So time of possession, we beat them in time of possession. We had 36 minutes. They had 23. We beat them in first downs. They had 11. We had 19. But don't forget, a lot of those came towards the end of the game when we were moving the ball with Brock. Third down conversions, they were 3 for 12. We were 4 for 17.
Damn.
Total net yards, 270 for them, 268 for us.
So we're pretty much even.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're only off by 2 yards. Average yard per play, 5.6 for them, 3.6 for us. Now, here's the big difference. Total plays, Cleveland had 48. We had 75. That's a pretty big difference.
So we had, how many total yards do we have?
268.
Off of 75 plays?
Mm-hmm.
But you think, Jason, we run
35. We had 79 yards in sacks.
Jason, you would think we had 75 plays. We should have a bunch of points on the board. 75 plays, that's a lot of plays. We should have points.
I'm getting to the sack thing, too.
75 plays, you should put 40 points on the board with 75 plays.
Easy.
Oh, yeah.
Easy.
So, but here's what killed us, though. So, penalties. They had 8 penalties for 77 yards. We had 13 penalties for 109 yards.
Yeah.
109. That's nuts.
Lack of discipline.
Yep. So, where's this list? Where the hell is the sacks? Why don't I see it? Hang on. Doesn't show. Number of punts, we were pretty even in number of punts. They had 8, we had 8. Theirs was a 39-yard average. Ours was 46.
You could expect it. AJ Cole.
Why am I not seeing the sack listings?
It's too bad they didn't want to put up. Number's too big.
Probably.
Probably crash.
Calculate it all.
They probably crash the systems, and we can't put that up. Little crashes.
Wow, that's funny. It doesn't even show that. Well, we know that they had 10 sacks against us. So what did we have for total sacks?
1.
One fucking sack. So as far as our...
And that was Kuntz.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing. It was
of all people, huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
Snowden again had a decent day. He had the interception. Snowden,
You can see Snowden on the film. You can see him actually affecting plays. He had the interception.
You saw that
There
last
was-
week too. He was all
Yeah,
over
there
the
was
field again.
There he was all.
there were some off tackle plays where he turned it back inside for the defensive tackles, and he's on the film. You could see him on the film. He stands
He was
out.
definitely a
He was
threat.
playing.
out
He was
there.
playing yesterday.
No worries about it. As far as the rest, so on the tackles, so Crosby was the leading tackler. He had 8 in total, 5 tackles, 3 assists, no sacks. Jeremy Chin, 3 for 3, 3 tackles, 3 assists, 1 forced fumble. Then the rest, Devin White was also 3 for 3. Everybody else after that was like 2 tackles, 1 assist. Snowden had the sack. Snowden had the interception. Kuntz, where is he? Right here. He had 1 tackle, 1 assist, and the sack. On their end, Campbell, who is their corner, had 7 tackles, 3 assists. Schlesinger, who's their linebacker, he had 6 tackles, 5 assists. Mason Graham was 4 for 1. Myles Garrett, 4 for 1, 3 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. That guy's the MVP of their team. There's no two ways about it. I mean, even take away the forced fumbles, he's still the MVP. You know, 3 sacks. I mean, that's it's a good day.
He set the edge because everything I worry about him that frees up everybody else. So he sets it up.
So right now, Myles Garrett. So we're at 9, 10, 11. We're at week 12. He's got 18 sacks already on the year. So he's well on his way to breaking that record, I think, at this rate. He's on pace to do it.
What's the record for the year? I forgot what it was.
22.
22.
Right? Wasn't that Strahan's 22?
20, yeah, it's 22 and a half.
22
And he's on pace for 25.
Yeah.
That was Strahan, right?
Yeah, it's Strahan and Watt, JJ Watt, I think, are both tied.
No, he'll get that easy.
What'd you see? I was watching the Steelers game. The TJ Watt moved ahead of JJ Watt in the Watt family sack list.
Yeah.
JJ was doing the announcing of that game. He goes, "Well, I might have to go. I might have to go re-sign with somebody. Can't let him."
You still got juice and energy. Hey, come over here.
Yeah, go for it, man.
Shit, we'll sign to a 1-year contract.
Dude, the whole team's just been so inept. It's horrible. Everybody's bad. All equal, both trash. Yep. Should only look at stats for the first 3 quarters. Yeah, because the fourth quarter
was done.
That's what Brock did his damage. That's where he got his numbers, was that fourth quarter drive. You know?
Yeah, because they took Garrett out for most of the fourth quarter anyway. So what? They're like, no, you have to play tomorrow. We won this game.
This is why, and I had the chip with Cheeto over this was when I said I'm not really a big stat guy, because a lot of times stats don't tell the whole story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yesterday is a perfect example of that. Gino was 30 of 44 for 285 yards and a touchdown. On paper, that's a pretty damn good game.
Yeah.
That's a and no interceptions. That's a really good game on paper.
A good quarterback rating. Great quarterback rating.
But if you watch the game and saw how he was actually playing, and not all of it was his fault. Don't get me wrong. Not all. I mean, I think 80% of what happened yesterday is totally on that offensive line.
80?
Yeah,
more than that.
Huh?
80. That's being generous, but yeah.
Well, no, because there was times where they actually accidentally did block it up right. And
wait a minute, Jason, you said accidentally blocked,
and the plays were there.
Hey Jeff, we actually blocked somebody yesterday. Wow. And you accidentally threw a touchdown. I'm saying you said accidentally.
Tyree Wilson accidentally getting a sack because the quarterback ran into him.
Exactly. That's
Look how bad we are. Things have to happen by accident that we look good.
Hey, Coach, I didn't mean to sack that guy. He ran into me accidentally. So, I'm sorry, Coach.
God, we are
That's
so
pretty good.
bad.
That was pretty
Man.
good, Jason. Accidentally blocked.
Uh,
We should have more actions like that every weekend.
No.
Yeah, like
so, I mean, I know we're not making the playoffs, but do you think with this change, I mean, granted, we're going to have to wait and see what happens this Sunday with the Chargers, but do you think we can win another game now? Do you think maybe there's a little revigoration with the players and the team itself because Chip Kelly's gone, and like I said earlier, like this dark cloud, like this kind of like especially the offense, especially Genty. I think Genty now can like breathe because he doesn't have Chip Kelly harassing him basically, because that's what it seemed like. The start of training camp and all that was just, like he was just like harassing this kid. Your stance sucks, you know, the shit he was going through. Do you think that there could be some sort of revigoration, or how? My God, I can't even talk. Revitalization of this offense going forward, or do you think we're just going to see the same shit the rest of the way?
It depends on they make some changes on the line a little bit. Move if you're gonna move players around, move in the right position. Like you said, we saw what happened when Getz got fired. We saw what happened. I know, right? We saw what happened with what's the name of McDaniels. They were like, yeah, and they played better, possibly, hopefully. Like Jason said, it's the same playbook, but not necessarily the plays in the playbook. It's when you call those plays. You know what time, the timing of the plays you call. You know, you don't call a draw play on 3rd and 19. You ain't fooling nobody, and you don't call quarterback steal on 3rd down too. It depends on what they call and how you call the playbook, because it's too late in the season to change everything because they've already got in mind how the plays run. So Greg Olson makes sure that he calls the right plays at the right time against a certain defense. And tell Genta, if you see that, change the motherfucking play to this. Stop trying to go, I'm going to do this anyway. No, give them freedom to see how they line up. If they got 8 in the box, well, you know, down we can't run against 8 in the box. Call something else. Change it. So possibly there could be, because we saw it happen before. Maybe that could revitalize, like you said, the offensive line, the offensive team, and the certain plays they call. Because the play call, we all saw it, was pretty bad when he called these plays. The red zone, got to get a lot better than it was. You know, we get turnovers in the red zone, we can't score. Shh, please.
What do you think, Jason? Do you think we see the same shit, or do you think it changes a little?
There's going to be some nuances. You'll see some different nuances. I think Greg Olson will go to, because he's got that John Gruden mentality. Let's run the ball. You gotta be proficient and effective in running the ball. You know, I mean, you can have a running back rush for 60, 70, 80 yards and be effective and affect the whole outcome of the game. But it's just a matter of when you call the plays, how you call the plays. A method to the madness is what I like to say. There has to be a method to the madness as to why you're calling the plays. Okay, not up in the booth because you're playing fantasy football. Did you hear that, Chip Kelly? Because I think that's what you were doing. Run your little pie hole some more. Because I think that's exactly what you were doing. You were calling these plays because they're so special to you. You know, and that team is not ready for that. There's no joy in, you know, Kansas City could get away with it because they could run the basic shit and execute it. Okay. If you can't run the basic shit and not execute it, then there's no reason to call that other stuff.
Yeah, but then Kansas City always change. They change shit up like they did yesterday. They changed stuff up. It's not working. We're gonna do this now. Chicago doesn't do that. In the first half, it's not working. Come second half, do the exact same.
There's one thing KC has that we don't have. Anybody figure it out?
Were they Captain Obvious part of it?
The ketchup and mustard colors. I don't know what.
They got a leader. They got a leader on the field on offense. We don't.
Oh yeah, we talked about the leadership way back.
So that's what I mean. They've got that, so they can be in a funk like they were, but they've still got a leader no matter how bad it gets. that can still get guys pumped up and affect the game. We don't have that. Gino just proved yesterday with his antics running off the field that he's no leader. Your leader is, you want your leader to be looked up at from the other players on your team, especially when you got rookies out there. You want them to look at him and say, I'll follow that man anywhere. I'll do anything for that guy. If I'm an offensive lineman and I'm a rookie, I'd be looking at him doing what he did yesterday. I'm like, I can't follow this. This guy's a jackass. You know,
Right.
I know in my line of business, and I'm sure Jason saw it too, there were people that were higher ups that shouldn't have been in that position.
Oh yeah, exactly.
You know, that shouldn't have been in that position, but you're still expected to look up to them. But you know damn well they can't do what they're supposed to do the right way to affect the rest of the crew that's working with them. Or the rest of the force that's working with them.
Too, Jim. I didn't see supervisors who come in there who has the biggest egos in the world, but don't know what the fuck they're doing because of their ego. I'm the supervisor. I'm in charge. But you always make the bad decisions. Why are we behind in our shit? We scheduled to get this shit done tomorrow. Why are we 5 days behind? Because of your egoness, you're not willing to adapt. You're not willing to adapt to the changes, and to keep going. We keep falling behind. That's in every job, corporation. Football is a job that if you're not the right leaders to lead you, guide you to the right way, everybody's going to fail. The whole team's going to fail. So that's we didn't have. We didn't have a leader because I thought quarterback would be a leader of a team. They get paid like it, but they don't act like it. Well, ours don't anyway.
You know, Max is that guy on the defensive side. Everybody looks up to him. Everybody respects him. He can say one thing and get that defensive squad together, and they'll follow him anywhere. You know they will, because they know that he's
to a certain point.
True. But they know that he can get the job done for the most part, and that he's the guy that can get things done. Whereas Gino, you know, he can't go out there and lead this team. He's already proven it. You know,
but even on the defensive side with Max Crosby, and a lot of Max is a leader, right? So we kind of look at him as being that leader, but his leadership is in his preparation, how he works and things like that. And he has to get the other guys to buy into it.
Right.
What I'm seeing though is there's a couple guys out there that aren't trying to follow his lead, but are waiting for him to be the leader. Does that make sense? So they're like, okay, Max is going to make this play. So, you know what I mean? Instead of everybody buying into that, and when we say compete, if you're the right defensive end, I want to get the sack before Max Crosby does.
Of course you do.
Right? That's my mentality. I don't give a shit what he's doing on the other side. This is
because Max is getting double teamed or triple teamed, so you're going to have it easier on your side too.
Allegedly.
Yeah, true.
Allegedly. So, and that's another stat that somebody brought up. If you go back and watch the game, it's not so much that Max is getting doubled and triple team. Max is doing a Euro step inside, and the guard has no other choice but to engage with him with the tackle. So is that a planned double team, or is that just something that organically happens as the play develops? You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of times. Watch when we play the Chargers this weekend. That right tackle, he's long as he can maintain outside leverage, he doesn't need a chip block.
He did it the Monday night game against Max. He was singled up with Max all game long, Pimpkins, and he handled them.
They already know his Euro step. They already know his pull down. So
they've got plenty of film on what he does.
Yeah.
That's why your division rivals can always plan better against you, because they get 2 games a year of film on you and what your tendencies are, because they'll just watch it from last season. They'll see what you did in the first game, what you did in the second game. And if you've already played this year, they're going to compare it to this year's game and say, hey, all 3 games, he did the same goddamn thing. So that's his tendency. So make sure you keep an eye on that. When you see that happening, this is how you counter that. And that's where it comes down to coaching. And that's where I think one of our biggest issues is we're just not relaying that information right to our players. We're not giving that to them. You're not giving those tendencies to say, hey, this guy lifts his foot a certain way when it's a pass play, because it's obvious.
Yeah, but for our offensive line, the message going forward is let's not get knocked on our ass this time.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, this guy, when he's gonna rush the A gap, he's got his left hand, his elbows bent, and all four knuckles are in the ground, and so that tells me he's gonna rush the A gap. Okay. Just don't get knocked on your ass.
Yeah.
When he does. Okay. I mean, it's great that you can identify, but if you set up, you have your hand placement is perfect, and but your feet are outward like a duck, and you're taking the blow and rocking back, and now you got shoe prints on your chest because you can't block. Yep. That's a problem.
Yeah, that was horrible last week with that. I didn't notice that yesterday. Although I kind of think I checked out at one point during the game.
Oh, there's several plays that you just see, like Meredith and E.F. Putnam or whatever you want to call them. You can see both of them. I mean, it literally looked like they were trying to stop a crowd at Walmart on Black Friday. They just got trampled.
Yeah, they got hauled over.
As they were running out with all the TVs, or as they were running in to get to the TVs?
In to get the TVs, yeah. Or both. Yeah, running out, I think they were just hitting them in the
They both got mollywogged several times. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, it was
embarrassing, man.
They put Cappy in there and said that dude couldn't be a right guard or a left guard. Now you're gonna go to center. What the fuck?
I put Cappy in at quarterback.
Have him show up as tackle eligible and just keep throwing on the ball.
Nah, just go in there. You're going to take the snap. Why me? Well, you're going to see what it feels like to get your ass pummeled when nobody blocks.
We're going to go fat wildcat. You're it.
Yeah, let's make a point of that. Yeah, see how it feels. See how it feels to get hit all got the time in the backfield. Block, motherfucker, block.
If Gino is sacked or a negative run for Genti occurs, we shouldn't see a lineman on the ground too. No, he shouldn't.
No, you didn't. That's why he getting sacked.
Unless the lineman's on top of a defender because he pancaked him, that's different.
Right.
But he shouldn't be laying underneath a defensive tackle or a defensive lineman. So big picture, where do the Raiders go from here? Do you see any positivity going forward?
Can we change that to expectations going forward?
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Fine.
Whatever.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. If Greg Olson's going to be the intern offensive coordinator, you got to tell Pete and Brandon, like, just look, guys. Here come a curse word. Look, motherfuckers. I'm changing the O-line. If you want to run these plays that's in this book, I'm changing the O-line to this, and that. If you don't like it, well, we ain't gonna win shit. We gonna get 10 points. Probably won't get no points in the next game. So
what do you change it to, Chris?
Like I said, put Caleb Rogers in there. I don't know. Do something.
Okay. Are you expecting to win or be successful by putting Caleb Rogers in?
Okay. I'm going to make this point to you, Jason. I don't expect the Raiders to win any more games this year. I don't expect who we're playing against. I don't expect any of these games they're going to win. They might accidentally get lucky and win a game.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing is this. I want to see more competitiveness out there. You know, not the game's over in the second quarter. Not at halftime, we're down by 30-something points. I want to see him like if we lose the game by like a field goal, like we lost against Jacksonville and all that stuff, whatever. Yeah, I'm mad we lost, but we was in the game. Not the game being over by the time you get your popcorn, hot dogs, come back and sit down like this. Because with the word compete, we're not competing in no terms of the game. I want to see better plays, better play calling, better blocking. Defense can step up a little bit because I think Pete took control of the defense where Patrick Graham is not. And that's pissing me off, but Patrick Graham is this and that. Well, I think Pete changed the defense with Patrick Graham's schemes where that's what Pete want to run. But in that, I want to see them be more competitive. That's all. Because they ain't going to win no more games. Not against the teams coming up.
Good, Jason.
Okay. Changes to the offensive line. Where do we go from here? Well, obviously, something has to be done about the offensive line, but there's not a whole lot we can do at this point of the year. Okay, there's not. We are who we are, and we have who we have to play on the offensive line. It's just a matter of finding that right chemistry and calling the right plays to keep them from putting themselves in trouble, getting themselves in trouble. So much to Jeff's credit, and what we talked about earlier in the show was, 40 dropbacks with this offensive line is not acceptable. Okay. 75, we ran 75 plays and we got how many points?
10. Then I got 7 in the game.
So at some point, you have to realize you're getting the opportunities, but you're wasting the opportunities because you're not putting your players in the right position. As soon as I saw Kappa and Meredith get knocked on their butts for the first time, that's the last time we're running that play. We're not going to run that play again. Okay. If we do, then I'm going to bring in a fullback, and that fullback is going to we're going to run a 2-back set. Fullback has got the A gap, but the tailback has got the outside edge. And then you're only going to have 2 players in the route. Okay. Which, you like to have 3 or 4 guys out in the route, but if I got to keep 2 guys in to help protect, then so be it. Because the 5 guys up front just ain't getting it done, and that rookie was just beating the dog snot out of them boys yesterday. But
ruling
now
where we can have like 13 guys on the offense out there.
We tried 12 a couple times and it still didn't work.
Yeah, exactly. I think we tried 12 on defense.
When they're declining,
we still lost.
When they're declining the too many men on the field penalty because they got a first down. Apparently that didn't work.
Exactly.
So, but let's go in big picture. Where do the Raiders go from here? I'm going to spin off of Chris just a little bit with the Caleb Rogers thing. And I'm at this point that it can't be any worse than what we have now. Okay. And can a young player like him learn from because Meredith and Kappa, they've been in the league long enough to know what they can and can't do, what's right, what's wrong, and how to be a professional and how to get better. They've already hit their ceiling. Okay. Their head's already hit the ceiling. Okay. Caleb Rogers hasn't. He hasn't even got a shot. He got to dress out yesterday. But I mean, do something with them, get him out there. Maybe, like yesterday, maybe he should have been on every field goal team, every punt return team, every punt team, kickoff team, all the special teams. He's out there. Okay. Let him get some grass stains, at first, and then maybe bring him in to play some guard, but much to everybody's chagrin in this chat, and 40 of you guys right now, we're looking at 40 plus in the chat. We want to thank you guys for joining us today to come in here and hang out with us. I know we're the greatest guys in the world to hang out with, but at least you did it. We appreciate it. Thank you. But let's just look at the factors going forward. I hate to be the bearer of bad news to you, Pete Carroll, but we're in development mode at this point. So am I saying start Caleb Rogers? No, but you know what? Maybe by the beginning of the second quarter, he's going in there. He's going to get some rep. He's going to get some burn time. Get him 10, 15 reps, get him, some pass play. Let's see what he does in pass pro. Let's see what he does in run block. how's he moving from side to side? Is he getting to the second level and finishing his blocks, type thing?
Valuation.
I do know there is one guy on this roster that would not get knocked on his ass like those other guys did, and that's Lucky Tossi.
Yeah.
Now, that guy might not understand blitz protection or how to recognize a DE stunt or a gain stunt, but there's one thing that they ain't going to do, and they ain't going to knock that kid over.
No.
But I tell you
He is so massive, he just has to stand there.
No, you
Chip
just
Kelly
don't
gotta go
stand
around.
here. If
Chip
anybody
Kelly
comes, you stop them.
Chip Kelly
Yeah.
was not going to put him in there because Chip Kelly was this rookie belief. I don't believe in rookies. He was never going to get playing time. But like I said, go for broke. What the hell? Well, we're not going to win any more games. Get these guys ready for next year. See what they got, so they can go out there. Like you said, don't have these guys go home with a no dry clean bill, like Jesus said. Get grass on your clothes. Yeah, see what they got. So that way they can learn. That way they can see the watch film, their technique. They can know next year coming. They know what they got working in the off season. How they going to work on when they're never out there? Practice? Because you're playing against your team.
So the reason why Lucky Tossi got moved to the offensive side of the ball from the defensive side of the ball is back during OTAs when they're practicing with the bags, and the defensive line has to fire off and hit the bag, and then they switched. They switch back and forth, right? Well, what's his name? That's the defensive line the defensive line coach that we have, recognize that when people like Tonka Hemingway and JJ Pegues and who else was on the defensive line? Booker. Well, we didn't get Booker till the season started, but during the OTAs, when he started seeing these defensive linemen, they were firing off, and when they had hit him, it was like earth just stopped. and that's when he goes, you know what? I think you do really good on the offensive line because these guys can't move you. He's that and you just see his overall build. Yeah, he's the rugby player that's converted and whatnot. But you just see his
rugby. That's how they play. That's what they push each other a lot in rugby. You see how that works. So being an offensive lineman, I think that's good. Give him some time, give him some reps. I know he's his first year ever playing football was that preseason game this year. But yeah, give him some reps. And when he got in the preseason game, what did he do? Pancake a dude and pointed down at him, looked at him like, so yeah, put him in there. Let him get rough and tough with the football guys.
No. Yeah, he just doesn't understand the nuances of the game. But as far as the physicality, there's the kid's just massive, man. Just let him.
You don't know techniques and plays and all that stuff. What to run, what they mean by pull and all that. So you don't know all that stuff yet. This is his first year playing, but the basic function of a offensive line is what block and push these guys out the way. That's basic shit. You're gonna that don't take a 15-year education to learn that. That's the basic thing. So learning techniques and what to do and how to run block and how to pass pro and you got to pull. Yeah, he don't know all that yet. But he do know the basics. Push that motherfucker out the way. That's it. That's all you know right now.
Jason, are you good?
I am fantastic, my friend. So looking forward to next Sunday.
My take on where do we go from here? I got to go with what Nugget says right here. Just run the living shit out of the ball next week.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Gino throw the ball more than 20 times. I want to see, in all honesty, I want to see Genty get 25 plus carries. You can't sit there and say he's tired. He's barely even run the ball this season, and it's not his fault that he hasn't been getting the carries. It's just the plays aren't being called for him to get out there and do his job. So let this kid do his job. Let him do what we drafted him for at number 6 overall, to come in and be a superstar running back for this team. Let him do what he's getting the money to be, to earn the money he's being paid to do this job. Let the offensive linemen earn their goddamn pay and do what they're supposed to do and make holes for this kid. Let's see what this offense can do with someone else running it now. So this weekend's going to say a lot, to be honest with you. I think this weekend is going to tell us what type of direction we can expect for the rest of this season. Are we going to become a super run-heavy team? Yeah, we should. And I hope that's what it turns into. Because I just don't see us doing anything else. We can't throw the ball accurately or confidently, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
Can't throw it consistently to even have any impactful plays on the offense with the throwing game. So it's time to let's step up the running game in this case. And if it means breaking him to the outside where he's more lethal, then break him out to the outside, goddammit. But until then, just keep pounding it up the middle. Let these offensive linemen move forward. Let them work it. Let these guys develop better. Get the rookies out there. Let's see what they got. Let's see if maybe these guys are big enough to move bodies and get some yardage here. That's my take on next week. Going forward from here on out for the rest of this season.
Absolutely right. That's what we're saying. Get the rookies out there, get you the ball. Because Pete Carroll said we're going to be a run-heavy team. I haven't seen no run-heavy team. Maybe in practice they run heavy, but they don't practice in a game time. They don't run at all.
17-10. At this point, I'll take anybody other than Chip Kelly. If it was Philbin or Greg Olson, I would have been fine with either one of them. So
what's Genty's highest total attempts this year?
I think 24.
24?
Yeah, he had a 24. Yeah. 24 carries.
One game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was the Tennessee game, wasn't it?
I can't remember if it was that one or the Chicago game.
He had 3 touchdowns. Whatever game he had the 3 touchdowns in. I'd have to go back, and it's going to take me too long to go through each one.
No. I've been saying, though, but he's not averaging 20 carries a game. He's averaging what?
No. He's averaging right around 10 carries a game.
I was just saying, he's averaging like 8 to 10. He ain't averaging a high average.
How is this a run-heavy team?
He's averaging more receiving receptions per game than he is running, I believe.
Well, and I think like yesterday's game plan, I can see their philosophy was to get him outside more evenly, was to throw him the ball outside instead of trying to pitch it to him outside. Well, so because I mean, a defensive back shouldn't be able to bring him down one-on-one, but apparently that's not true either because he got brought down a couple times by himself in a one-on-one matchup.
That answers the eight targets, 8 catches. He catches them. That's the thing, man. 8 for 8. That's impressive. I don't have any problem with that. That's just showing his versatility, which nobody thought he was a good receiver out of the backfield. Well, guess what? I think he's dispelled that myth.
Yeah. Yep, he has.
So let's do MVPs and MUPs. Now, for those that don't know, MVPs are just what it is, most valuable player on the Raiders. MUP is most undervalued player on the Raiders, which means we're looking for the best overall player and the worst overall player. This has been kind of easy all year when we've done this, okay? So I want the chat to pick their MVP and pick their MUP, and then the 3 of us will do ours. We got to pick somebody different, though, between the 3 of us. We can't just sit there and go, well, Max Crosby. You know, we got to pick a different player. What you really foresee was the MUP or the MVP. So let's do the MVPs first because that should be fairly easy. MUP's going to be a tough one. So, Jason, you can go first, seeing as though you're right next to me right now.
MVP is AJ Cole.
Okay.
He kept us. He kept our field position. No, because the field position probably is what kept that score from being more than what it was.
True. All right, Chris.
If they had short.
Oh, sorry.
And then MVP, I'm going to go out on a limb and say Snowden was MVP on the defensive side of the ball.
You get one. You get one MVP and one MUP.
No, we were at the beginning of the season doing one offense, one defense, but we did switch.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I already named AJ Cole as an MVP.
Yeah.
The would be.
Well, just your MVP. So, Chris, what's your MVP?
Yeah, that's fine.
Them up separate.
Well, I would say Cole, but it's Jay Shuck, and I'm cool with that. It was just one play, one person. That was Shan causing that fumble because if it wasn't for that, that would be another touchdown. I don't know if they did score after that. But when he didn't give up on a play, when homeboy got that ball and he came behind and knocked the ball out, that was MVP. Now, MVP play of the game, I don't have MVP for the whole game because I was going to take Cole too, but Jay Shuck, and I'm cool with that.
So who's your MVP again?
Yeah, when he knocked the ball, when he caused that fumble, when homeboy caught the ball, was running.
Oh, Chin. I couldn't understand what you were saying.
Oh, Chin, yeah, Jeremy Chin, when he came from behind and knocked the ball out and they got the fumble recovery. That was
So
MVP
that's
play, but it wasn't. He's not the MVP of the game. Cole would have been mine, but Jason took him. So that's it.
So that's your MVP. All right. Wow. I'm gonna
You're
go
thinking too hard. You're gonna get a headache.
Huh?
What?
You're gonna get a headache thinking too hard.
I already got a headache.
I hate you. I'm gonna go with Snowden. I think he was due. I was gonna say whoever fired Chip Kelly should be the MVP, but
Yeah.
that'd be too easy. So yeah, I'm going Snowden. I got the interception. He was all over the field. He was last week too. I just think that he's gotten his due now. I think he deserves it. I really do. I think he's stepped up when he needed to. They put him in the starting position for a reason, and I think it's paying off. To be honest with you, I really do. I think he's good. Genty would be a good choice, Nugget. I wouldn't disagree with that. He had 108 yards total offense and a touchdown. That's a good day, in all honesty.
Yeah, that's respectful.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, seriously, for a rookie on a shitty team, that's a good day.
That's not bad.
Yeah. What's up, Bill M? What's up, man? MVP.
What's going on, Bill?
All right. So, Chris, you start this one off. Who's your most unvaluable player? So the worst player on the Raiders. Who's your worst? What's up, Daniel Berry? What's going on, my guy?
Wow. It's like you go in the
You only get to name one.
Wait. It's like you go in the candy store and you see all this candy you can't choose. that's what it's like. I can't choose. There's like so many choices. What do I pick? Oh my god. The most unvaluable player, it had to be all right, man. Can I pass on this? Can you come back to me later? Because there's so many to choose from.
It's like fish in a barrel.
Right?
Go ahead, Jason. See, Chris.
Hey, go ahead, Jason. I can't think of anything. If you're going to say somebody else, say, yeah, I agree with that too. So don't matter.
Most underperforming?
Yeah. Underrated player.
Underperforming?
Unvaluable.
Unvaluable.
Didn't do shit.
Unvaluable. Well, I'll go with Mr. Middle Finger. Geno Smith.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Go with him.
All right, Chris, time's up. You got one?
Who was playing center again?
People played center.
Who was sitting on his butt most of the game?
Did it start out with Putnam and then ended up being Kappa?
Yeah, when didn't Meredith go back to?
Or no, yeah, Meredith started.
Yeah,
at center, and then when Putnam got hurt, Kappa came in, played center, and Meredith went to guard.
Okay, so I can't pick you one because there's three, so the center position was most.
That's what I said, Frank.
No, the center.
So you're just gonna say center?
The center position was unvaluable.
Yeah, I'll give you that because I mean we have no idea who was there at what time. To be honest with you, so we'll just take center as a whole for that position. So I can agree with that. I'll let that one go.
Thank you.
So, and Jason, you picked Geno, right? So now I got to pick mine.
Do I take Captain Obvious from you or what?
Well, yeah. Pretty much.
No, I wasn't even going to go Geno because I figured one of you two was going to pick him anyway, so I wasn't even thinking him.
Yeah, I don't want him because he's too easy. He's too easy. I was trying to pick something like really different. He's too easy.
Yeah. I'm going to say my most unvaluable player. If he had done his job, does it mean we would have won the game? No, but we would have put more points on the board. I'm going Carlson. I'm so done with him. It isn't even funny. For the sole purpose of him alone, I can't wait till this season is over. I can't. I can't even watch the screen when he comes out the kick. I really can't. It just disgusts me that how he's missing such basic. This is your job, man. You come out. You have one job to do. I had two. You kick off and you field goals and extra points. You got one job to do. Let's kick a goddamn football. All right. I don't profess to be a great kicker. The last time I did any type of kicking was back in high school on the JV squad. I punted. That was it. That was very limited time. Because in high school, you never punted. You always went for it. So I don't know what it's like. I don't know the pressure. I don't understand it. But come on, man. You're paid all this money to go out and kick a ball through two poles in a dome with no wind conditions. How is that on grass, on solid turf, no dirt, no nothing? It's easy. How is it that hard to do? Especially when it's like a PAT or something inside of 30 yards, which should normally just be a chip shot. I mean, I've seen guys win, go out there and they have one kick to hit the field goal. It's a 45-yarder and they win $800,000. I've seen people go out there and do it. One kid I saw do it barefoot and he got it. It's like, are you shitting me? I don't get it. I just don't. And how far he fell so fast. And within one full season. So from about this time last year when he bailed, when he fucked up in the KC game to now, and basically 1 year's time frame, he's gone so far downhill. His accuracy is off. I am glad we didn't. And everybody was like, "Oh, we need to sign him." I'm glad we didn't. Thank God.
Yeah, we didn't extend him.
We re-signed the right kicker, and that was AJ Cole.
Yeah.
Thank God we got him back. But yeah, that's mine. I'm going with. I could pick somebody on the offensive line, but where do you start there? I'd have to call the whole unit because they all sucked equally. Even Glaze. Glaze got burned bad on quite a few plays.
And he wasn't against Garrett either, so.
No, he was. He had Garrett on him because Garrett was moving around, man. Garrett was everywhere. He was left side, right side, middle, playing, just off the line a little bit like a linebacker. He was everywhere on that field.
Yeah, that is what
everywhere he was. He had an impact.
What killed me when he was on line of scrimmage, he lined up like a linebacker and ran in and just ran over the center. Do you see the guy where he's lining up? You know what he's going to do. He's a full head of steam. He's going to run you over. That's exactly what he did. Just ran him over.
I honestly think he's giving Jamarcus Russell a run for his money. I think I would rather have Jamarcus Russell right now at his best than Geno Smith at his best right now.
Jamarcus wasn't in the league for 13 years before doing this.
No, he did it his first year.
Yeah.
Well,
at least I know he was a big body man. He could take the hit. If he was going to run, he's going to go for the first down or the touchdown. At least that was one good thing that I saw Geno do yesterday. He kept running and got the first down. When he could have slid, he still took a little bit of a hit. Should have done that last week. He would have had a fucking touchdown last week.
Yeah, it's Jamarcus Russell. He was so big. Like I said, if DB come on the blitz, they'll just bounce off of him. At least he'll have that.
What's up, Raider Moore?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you see all these other kickers nailing a kid first year in the league, Littleton or whatever the kid's name, right? This is his rookie year. Hits a 70-something yarder on us. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, 68-yard field goal. Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, right? Get the fuck out
of
here. That's the East Coast. Even though I'm not Italian, that's the East Coast Mafia side over here.
Yeah.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Yeah, there you go. Bill, there's a girl on YouTube that routinely hits 50 yarders and she's hot.
Oh, yeah, I see that girl.
Yeah, Frank Webb was picking Geno. Vincent, yep, he's got the same amount, 13 TDs, 13 interceptions. That's horrible. I don't care if he's accurate. Yeah.
He's not accurate. He's how many balls he overthrew?
Yeah. Jeez. Hey, on a good note out of this game, Genty's now leading all rookies in touchdowns at 8. So,
yay!
I still say that there was another running back in this game yesterday is the one that we should have drafted because that means we would have probably taken an offensive lineman.
Judkins.
Yeah, I'm telling you, there's two guys out there that I wanted that are playing pretty damn good, and that's Judkins and Trevion Henderson, both Ohio State guys.
Oh, running back. So,
yep. I stay away from Ohio State quarterbacks. They have a tendency to suck.
Harvey's not playing too bad for Denver.
No,
He's doing
but
pretty good.
when you look at what
And
Trevion-
Scatterby was rocking until he got hurt.
Yeah, he was. Hey, did you see the Patriots? Both their rookie offensive linemen went down yesterday.
Oh,
Campbell
really?
with the knee, and I forget what the other guys got. Yeah, they could both be out for some time now.
Looks like Baker Mayfield might be out too for a while.
Oh yeah, he fucked his arm up last night or his elbow or something.
His
Shoulder.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that was Teddy Bridgewater last night until you put it in the chat when I asked, "Who the hell is that?"
That's I asked because my wife was watching the game because
Who the fuck is that?
I said, he said, who's playing quarterback? I said, I don't know. I said, who is that? It's Teddy Bridgewater. Like, what?
Hey, that guy got around, huh? Holy crap!
Yeah, out of football to a coach, and now back in football.
Yeah. And now the starter for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Moving forward, yeah.
No, they're going to be hurting. But
Memphis just got signed by the 49ers.
nice.
Yeah, he's good too. Clearly, there were a lot of good running backs last draft. Hampton is good too, but unfortunately, injury. Yeah. That was the one thing that draft class last year was deep in, was running back. We didn't have to take Genty when we did. We should have. You know what?
I digress.
I know. I get frustrated as it is when I keep thinking about what we could have done and what we should have done.
It's over.
Yeah, but what offensive lineman would you take with the 6th pick?
Who said I was going to keep the 6th pick?
Yeah, exactly.
You have to find a trade. You have to have a trade partner before you could trade back.
Oh, there's plenty of trade partners out there.
Yeah, I get that. There's teams out there that would have been jumping at Genty. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, there's plenty of trade partners.
But what were they going to give for him?
Well, first of all, we're going to swap first rounds, and I wanted a second. So you give me your first, we swap. You get the 6, I get whatever number you have, and you give me a second round pick.
Okay.
So now I have 2 second round picks. Now I can go and I can move back in the draft, get the best offensive lineman that's available then, and then come back in the second round and grab one of the running backs that are going to all be available at that time, except for Omari and Hampton. He was the only one that was already gone, I believe, and Genty.
So you're saying the sixth pick is only worth 2 picks?
You could have got more, possibly. I'm not saying no.
So the value your draft pick, when you have the pick where you're on the board and the value what you have versus what somebody's willing to pay to move up could be a huge. And when you start to get 5, 6, 7, 8, it changes dramatically. Well, especially depending on what type of talent's on the board.
That's why you have to look and see what teams are offering. Some teams may offer more. Some teams may offer just enough.
Right.
Like right now, say we finish the season with the number 2 pick, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we want to move out of that because we want to accumulate some extra picks and really bring some bodies in that we think can really help this team in the now, not in the future, in the now. So we take that number 2 overall pick, we put it up there that we're willing to move out of that spot. I guarantee you with that number 2, you can get you should swap your first round picks, get a first rounder in the 27 draft, and probably get a second and maybe a 4th rounder in this current 2026 draft. So now that gives you the first round pick this year. Still, just don't know where it would be, depending on who you want to trade with. A second rounder, so that gives you 2 second rounders. You get an extra 4th this year, so you gain 2 extra picks.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but that also not only do you gain, and then you could actually possibly take those 2 second rounders, trade those off, and move back into the tail end of the first round. You can move yourself right back in with 2 first round picks if you play it right. Okay, and then in 27, you're going to have 2 first round picks. You're not going to be winning the championship, so you're going to be picking somewhere in the 10s or above. So you're still going to have a decent pick, and depending on who you trade with, you could do something with that pick too. You could trade that away and move up again in next year's draft, because I think the quarterbacks coming out in 27 are going to be better than 26, if I'm not mistaken. Correct? There's a potential to have a better quarterback class in that one.
Possibly.
There
Everybody's
is,
clamoring
but
for us to take Mendoza, but until we can guarantee that we're going to fix this offensive line, I wouldn't be taking a rookie quarterback at number 2. I'm sorry.
if you do take a rookie quarterback, it's with the intent that he's not going to play behind that offensive line.
Oh, it has
Because
to.
it doesn't hurt to get you your franchise quarterback and then come back around and spend a whole year of free agency, another year of free agency and draft to build that offensive line. It doesn't hurt to do that.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt. Like
if that's the guy you know that 10 years down the road is going to have some jewelry on our hands, you know what I mean? And it has to be in that. And there's like, I mean, I know Green Bay was fortunate because it just went bam, bam, bam. You know, it just went from Favre to Rodgers to Love, you know. And I know the Chiefs had Alex Smith, and then it went right into Patrick Mahomes. And Patrick Mahomes got to sit a whole year to allow them to develop that roster a little bit better, which made it go bam.
But it wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt to take the quarterback at number 2. It wouldn't hurt because he knows he's going to say if Pete Carroll's still there, Jesus is going to be the start. It wouldn't hurt to have him sit, and you can build around that. Because you guys remember Josh Allen wasn't that great his first year. But what the Bills do, they start building around, getting better offense, running backs, getting receivers. So it won't hurt if they're going to take Mendoza at number 2.
Josh Allen was bad until Dayball got there. That had nothing to do with the team around him. It was the offensive coordinator that helped.
They still put players around him, regardless who was offensive coordinator. So it wouldn't hurt to take him and put players around him. Now, who's going to be offensive coordinator next year, we don't know. But if you're going to take a number 2, fine. But he should not start any game with his offensive line, even preseason. He shouldn't even get in too much with a couple of plays and get out because you don't want to fracture his confidence or get him hurt, seriously hurt. So they want to take Mendoza number 2. If they got number 2 pick, all right, go ahead. But build around him. Just say, we got quarterback.
I don't think we have that. I think the highest we're going to pick is 3. But most likely 4 or 5 is where we're going to be.
You could still warrant it. You could still pull probably 2 first rounders out of that in the trade. First round this year, first round next year.
Yeah, but what about other glaring needs? I know we need to rebuild the offensive line. Don't get me wrong. Okay, and we can still do that in the second round, in the third round, in the fourth round, in free agency, right? We can still trade for an offensive lineman.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so we could still make a trade, maybe do a player swap or a future draft pick to go get an offensive lineman, right? To build that offensive lineman. Because that really, in all honesty, I truly think, in my heart of heart, we only need 2 more people to get that offensive line working the way it should.
We need guards. We need one guard, and I'm telling you, I would love to see us draft the best overall center or bring in the top free agent center.
Mm-hmm. And the best overall center right now is slated between 35 and 37.
And we can easily do that.
Which is where we're going to be picking in the second round.
Second round.
I want a guy that played his entire college career center. He's bred as a center.
Exactly.
That's exactly what this guy is.
I don't want somebody that played center for 1 year and we convert, we draft him as a guard, but we make him the center because he played it as a senior. No knock on JPJ. I'm not knocking JPJ. I love the kid. I think he's the fire that this team needs, but he's better suited at playing guard, and I will take that to my grave, that he's better at guard than he is at center.
Exactly what I've been saying.
You just need the right other pieces on that offensive line that make this work right.
That's exactly what I've been saying. Like, let's get a guy who played that position for his whole entire football career. All these conversions, man, doesn't work. Because, like I said, there's that 2 guys I like that's playing center right now. That one guy from, was that a guard, Jason from Miami? That one dude? I mean, from Florida? Is he a guard or a center?
The only guy I know from Miami is that defensive end.
No, he played in Florida, but he was knocking guys around, literally knocking guys around. So you need some guy like that who play that position and plays it well. But like I said, this conversion shit don't work. We proved that many times.
Yeah, and let me ask you this, Jason, because you just brought it up about going after offensive linemen in free agency, or this is the same regime So say nothing changes. Pete Carroll's still here. Everybody's still here. You saw what they did in the offseason this year with trying to bring in offensive linemen. Do you really trust this regime to bring in the adequate guys on the offensive line to help? You already saw what they did this year. They thought Forsyth and Kappa were going to be the help fix on this offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still trust them to do that next year?
I gotta trust Brian Hunt to do his job.
And that's what I'm hoping on too. Which means, well, if that's the case,
and he wasn't here when those decisions were being made.
Exactly, and that's the wild card in all this is him, and what his unit as the scouting team, what they put together for packages on who we should be looking for, whether it be in the draft or in free agency, who we think would come in here and be a better fit for this team, other than these two which we brought in. And I'm sorry, Kappa needs to be cut. I don't care if we take the cap hit or not. He shouldn't even be here. He shouldn't even be an option. You know, there's a few guys on this offensive line that should not be back. Parham, how he's still here is beyond me. Meredith, yeah, you want to keep him for death, I'd be okay with that. Putnam, bye-bye. Kappa, see ya.
I would keep Meredith because he's versatile at both center and guard.
Well, that's why I'm saying that I'm fine.
And if you have strength already built into the surrounding positions, then he's not gonna be a weak link per se. You know, so if you have let's say you have JPJ at right guard, and we go out and we get a badass to play left guard to replace Parham, right? So you got two guys, and then I would also look into getting a badass tackle. Okay. And so if I'm going to move back, if I'm going to skip the quarterback, I'm going to skip that quarterback thing, and I want to draft for need, then I'm going to trade. The farthest I'm going to go back is to 6 or 7, and hopefully Fanu from Utah is still there. Okay. And then now and he's primarily a right tackle. Okay. Plays right tackle. If he played right tackle in college, that's what he's going to play in the pros. Sorry. We're not going to try and develop him to be a left tackle. No. Quit doing that shit. Okay. If the guy is good at his position, coming out of college, and you draft and he's worth drafting, you play him at that position. Period. The end. Quit trying to experiment just because it's happened in the past. You know, you take a guy that was a fullback and make him a tight end, and he's all of a sudden all-world Hall of Fame. Okay, great. You know, you found, but to do it like repetitively, sometimes you start to wonder if it's just they do it out of spite, just to satisfy their egos. You know, like, I'm going to draft this quarterback in the 6th round, and we're going to make him a wide receiver, and you guys are going to watch, and we're going to look like, and then come cut day, he's cut. He didn't even make the team, you know, so we just wasted a draft pick. You didn't even get a chance to develop him.
The good thing for us is, if you look through the free agents for offensive linemen, there are some good offensive linemen that are going to become free agents at the end of the season. You know, it'd be great if they don't re-sign with their existing teams.
No, that's just the thing. A lot of them are going to get re-signed because other teams know that they have to. They have to build the trenches as well.
Yeah, but if we offer more money, that's the only thing we can hopefully take into consideration, is that we can outbid these other teams for them.
Yeah, some of them, though, are going to get re-signed before they can hit the market.
It's up Ardell.
But
yeah,
the theory is, in the practice,
I don't want to grab a quarterback with the first pick. I think grabbing a quarterback with the number, whatever we end up with, 2, 3, 1, whatever, I think it's a big mistake if we do that. I really do.
So
maybe taking Genty at number 6.
Give me just a second here.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep, I agree.
All right. This right now is going to be, I'm just going to name the top 10. Okay? The top 10 2026 draft prospects. And this is as of right now. Okay. Obviously, things change once you have the bowl games are played, and then you have
the combine.
All that other stuff. Yeah, so some things are going to change. Some of these aren't going to change because they're absolute. All right. And you're going to probably laugh at me and haha, we'll have a bunch of haha moments when I do this. I don't give a shit. Okay. The number one prospect coming out next year is Reuben Baines, defensive end edge rusher out of Miami.
Mm-hmm.
He's phenomenal, but he is built more of a 3 technique than he is an edge. So I think there could be a misnomer of him as what his game is going to translate to the NFL. Okay. The second prospect, Caleb Downs, Ohio State. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Ha ha, he, we had the same last name. I don't give a shit. You watch the kid play. It is unbelievable what that
reason
kid
Jason wants him.
No. Well, it will make it easy because now I could buy his jersey, and if he gets cut, I still have a jersey with my name on it.
True.
And it's
true.
legit, right?
But you're gonna look funny as a big ass dude like yourself walking around in a jersey of
him wearing number 24. Now here's the story. Okay, he wears number 2. His brother wears number 2 for the Colts, right? His brother Josh plays for the Colts. Okay, he wears number 2. But his first jersey number in high school was 24. All right, but we're moving on from that. And you know where I'm going with that, right? Ain't nobody wearing 24 on our team right now. Yeah. So next is Spencer Fano, offensive tackle, Utah, right? Day 1 starter since he got in there. He has huge upside and extremely strong. Runs a 4.9 40. He's 6'6", 300 pounds. Athletic. He's one of those guys that when you go to do your scouting on him, you're going to take a basketball and go find a basketball court, and you're going to be like, holy crap, this kid is athletic as all get up, and he's strong as an ox. He's not getting knocked on his ass. The 4th overall prospect right now, and this is from Draft Buzz, NFL Draft Buzz.
No, hold on real quick. Just want to address Raider Moores. I looked at the free agent wide receivers. The best one out there would be Pickens from Dallas. There's not much out there for free agent wide receivers going into next season. So it would probably have to be the draft, or we just stick with what we got. I honestly
he's gonna
want to go with wide receiver. The answer's not in free agency. I will say that.
No. We're going to have to make a trade for a wide receiver, or we're going to have to draft one. And there's some really good wide receivers that are going to be in this draft that aren't going to be in the top 25. That on a normal year.
We'll see you guys later.
A normal year.
You okay?
Nah. I'll see you guys. Talk to you later.
Later.
All right.
Oh shit, we've been on for almost 3 hours. Holy fuck, I didn't realize how long we've been on for. Holy Jesus.
Salute to the chat too, man. We've had up to 50, 60 people in here watching us today. Appreciate you guys joining us on a Monday.
Sure.
So I'm going to blow through this real quick. Number 4 is Ty Simpson, quarterback, Alabama. Number 5 is going to be offensive tackle, Francis Maga from Miami. Really good offensive tackle, super athletic. He has all the physical tools, and he's in his structure. You watch him, you look at him, you see his structure. He's totally built. Number 6 is Dante Moore, the quarterback from Oregon. Now, a lot of people are saying, and including some of my sources that I referred to, are saying that the inner workings is he's going to return next year. Here's the catch on that. He can only hurt at this point, he can only hurt his draft stock going back to college versus helping. Okay, if he's going to be a top 5, if he's going to be top 2 quarterback going into the draft, and there's a bunch of quarterback needy franchises that need a quarterback, I think he would actually hurt himself going back to college than just going pro.
Yeah, because all it takes is one injury or a couple, just.
Well, look at Drew Aller from Penn State.
Yeah,
and I knew that was going to happen because he lost Tyler Warren as tight end, which was his safety blanket. Drew Aller was all that in a bag of chips. Well, he was thrown to Tyler Warren. You know what I mean? So Tyler Warren can make a bad quarterback look good real quick.
What's up, Smokey?
Next one is Peter Woods, defensive line edge rusher. He's number 7 on the board. 6'3", 315 pounds, very athletic, great tackling machine. But he's from Clemson. So I have buyer's remorse when it comes to Clemson. Number 8 is Jeremiah Love, running back at Notre Dame. Everybody's seen Jeremiah Love. Jeremiah Love is the real deal.
Yeah.
And he'll probably be a yeah, we won't be drafting a running back, not in the first round. We might get one in the third or fourth round because we're going to need another running back.
Yeah.
Number 9 is defensive end edge rusher from Auburn is Keldrick Falk. He's a guy that you could bring in and actually really help and solidify your defense. But he's at number 9, so he's behind us in the draft. So I'm not worried too much about him. And then the first wide receiver is number 11 is Jordan Tyson, from a wide receiver from Arizona State, who's a super legit wide receiver. Only thing is he runs a 4.5 40. So he's a little tick on the slower side, but he's very crafty with his route running, and he's got good hands. Got really good hands. So just kind of going over all that. And the reason why I say if we're going to do straight best player available and Caleb Downs is there at number 4, you got to take him, man. I'm telling you got to take it. And I'm not saying it. You can laugh and giggle because we have the same last name all you want. But that kid right now today, he'd be a Pro Bowl caliber safety on any NFL team. That's how good he is.
Believe you.
And we talk leadership, right?
Yeah.
He's a leader. He is a leader. So that being said, the quarterback thing is I still think Mendoza's higher than Simpson. It's a toss up between him and Moore. Moore really has impressed me the last couple of games. But Mendoza, I mean, come on, man. You go 22 of 24 for 299 yards and 4 touchdowns in a game. I don't care who. That's legit. That's legit. I mean,
bum.
Huh?
He's a bum.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that because I know Raider Paul's still listening, and he's like, no, it's Mendoza or nothing. That's just his attitude. Is just
nah.
That is
don't sell yourself
or nobody else.
As a Raider fan, we cannot settle on one person because this is going to have to be something where it's going to be our future, right? And look at the last 2 quarterbacks that caught all the hay and all the hype, right? Was CJ Stroud and Jaden Daniels. They're not really doing as good, as what people would, and you could say they're getting hurt. Well, that's one of the things is very, very important of a franchise quarterback is availability. Yep. So if you're getting hurt, Jackson Dart, love the guy. He's a great quarterback, but man, the way he scrambles and runs and NFL is not for long when you do that. So, but yes, do we need if a franchise quarterback falls to us where we're at and it's a hit, then yeah, we take them.
So is it?
And then we can address our.
Going to come out this year, you think?
I think Mendoza's more of a sure bet than what Dante Moore is.
Okay.
Just from what I'm hearing in the college buzz world, I think he's leaning more towards it. Now, it has a lot to do with how much success they have going forward in the play. Indiana has in the playoffs and things like that. Because he's the type of guy that he might want to run it back again with his teammates versus thinking of himself, but doing it more so for his teammates. Because sometimes you build that chemistry with your teammates and stuff. It's hard to let go, So it might be one of those deals where he's, you know what, I'm okay. I'm going to go in the NFL anyway. So
yeah,
but I truly think I if your agent comes to you and says, "Hey, you're slotted top 5 pick going in the NFL right now, what do you want to do?" And it's like, or it's not, it wouldn't be an agent because that'd be illegal. It'd be breaking the NCAA rules, but it would be somebody like his head coach or an advisor or somebody would be like, you can only hurt your draft stock by staying another year than you are going to help it because you're already a top 5 pick.
Yeah.
And I agree. CJ Stroud is, he's struggling with an offensive line, but you gotta address that offensive line.
If you, I'm telling you right now, if we don't address enough of the offensive line and we go into next year with, say, at least 90% of this offensive line that we have now and nothing really new added, our 2026 season's already over before it starts. You can already see the writing on the wall. Because in some cases, I don't think any type of coaching can't fix bad talent or just
but Jeff,
bad players overall.
With what we have in 2025, 2026 is already going to be a wash anyways.
No.
There's no way we can this is a JV football team. There's no way we're going to be able to turn this around and make it what we expect is a championship commitment to excellence. Just win, baby. That's our expectations, right? As fans. But let's be real. It's going to take a lot. And Spytek's going to have to re-sign or fill 24 roster positions through free agency. That's going to take 80% of that salary cap just to do that, just to fill the roster out. So when we start bitching and complaining about we've got this, 2-star linebacker that we brought in to be our starting linebacker, that's because that's all we can get. Not so much what we can't afford. It's not being cheap. It's all you can get. That's all that's available. You open a bag of chips and you pour the chips out and there's crumbs. By the time you get ready to eat a chip and all that's left is crumbs, you got to eat crumbs just to eat. So, I mean, if a franchise quarterback is there at 4 or 5, wherever we're gonna probably be picking in the 4 or 5. The only way we're gonna go higher is the Jets win a couple games because we can't end up tied with the Jets. The Titans and the Jets. If we end up tied with the Titans, Jets, and the Saints, we're number 4 because of their strength of schedule. Okay. At number 4, I really think that at number 4, I see the Saints probably going best player available versus targeting a quarterback because they drafted Tyler Shaw, to play quarterback, who he didn't look bad. I mean, it wasn't. But you can't expect much out of a rookie quarterback. I would much rather draft that franchise quarterback, put him on the bench, marry him up with the right head coach and the right offense coordinator and the right quarterback coach, pair him up just like a fine bottle of wine with the perfect meal, and just let it marinate for a year. And if maybe week 8, week 9, the season's a toss and you think the kid's ready to go out there and take some live bullets, let him take some live bullets. Don't expect anything. Okay? Don't expect that he's going to turn it around for us because in the history of the NFL, Jaden Daniels was kind of a reckless misnomer as to what happened. I think Dan Quinn rolled in. They actually had a better roster than what was expected, than what most people were giving them credit for. They had a pretty good roster. He was able to coach them up with Jaden Daniels as their quarterback. And then some flash plays were made that he got some dun-a-dun on ESPN, that got everybody's eyes opening. But if you closed your eyes and just look at the totality of it, he did what a rookie quarterback's supposed to do. Manage the game, keep the team from being in bad position, make the plays when they're available. So It wasn't like he came out and just took command of the football game. He didn't.
No, Raider Moore, he would count against the cap. What was it, $8 million? I think we said it would be, right?
Who's that?
If we would have cut ties with Gino.
If we cut him post June 1st, it's $8 million.
Yeah, if we cut him which
means it's $8 million. Yeah, so we would. Most likely, I think after the start of the league year, you can cut them post June 1st, designate them post June 1st. Excuse me.
So
But
what I'm saying is, if we would have just cut him right now, what would
we'd put it on the hook for $18.5 million next year.
But if we do it
If we
for
cut him right
post
now.
June 1st, it would only be an $8 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a $10 million. Yeah, I think.
Which means that extra $10 million, that you would save on your salary cap, you won't be able to spend that until after June 1st.
So I guess it's pick your poison then.
Mm-hmm.
You know, can we get rid of him now?
I don't think it would hurt. I don't think it would hurt.
I'm curious to see what's going to happen in the back room. If because right now, yesterday's game, AOC was in there as the third string quarterback,
Mm-hmm.
and Pickett was number 2. I'm curious to see if that flip flops this week. If AOC 12 ends up being the backup and Pickett flips to number 3.
Yeah.
I don't think
depends on how much.
I'm curious to see what's going to happen. Like AOC 12 going to start over Gino. That ain't going to happen. As long as Pete, I don't see that happening.
It depends on how much autonomy that Olsen's going to have set in the roster.
And that's you just hit the nail right on the head. That's how much control are they giving him? I know he's the interim head offensive coordinator, but how much overall control are they giving him with this roster on the offense? You know, are they going to let him make changes? Like, are they going to let him say, hey, listen, I think if we're going to run this type of system or if we're going to run these plays, you know, O'Connell might be the better option versus Gino. You know, or Gino's the better option, so we're just going to keep with him because what we want to run requires a quarterback of his talent. You know, that's what it's going to come down to is if he can make those changes. You know, can he instill with Pete Carroll that, hey, let's get Rodgers and let's get, Grant out there and let's see what these guys can do. You know, is he the guy that's going to hopefully bring these two into the fold to get them some playing time? You know, is it a simple fix? Like, not a simple fix. Sorry, take that back. Is it as simple as letting them, him talking to Pete and allowing them to play? Because they got to play. They have to get in the game at some point this season to truly see what these guys do in game time decisions. Because other than that, all you're seeing is the little bit of preseason, and then you got to wait till OTAs next year and then training camp. And you're still not going to get the true sense. It could be that whoever we draft next year come in and they're way better than these guys just out of pure talent. And that's great. If that's the case, then that's the case. But still give these guys a shot. Let them see what they can prove their worth. Let them earn that third round pick value. Just having them sit there is just that's not good coaching, I think.
It's either not good coaching or we picked them in the wrong spot.
And I think that's what ultimately is going to come down to. I think that's when you pick somebody of their caliber in the third round, you're expecting those guys to be early contributors to the season, not sitting here towards the end of the season still haven't even touched the fucking grass. Yeah.
See, I don't think Caleb was a reach where we picked him at 98. I don't think that was a reach, but the Grant at 99, I think, was a little bit of a reach.
No, I agree, and I think Caleb Rogers was definitely the better of the two. I think he went right where he kind of should have been. Yeah. But that also same thing goes for Betch. Our second overall pick, and he's barely even played. Thornton, the 4th round pick, who we thought was going to be the next greatest thing for us. Well, not us, not me anyway. I never even thought of him as an even starter. But I
think Betch has a place going forward on this team.
I think Betch so does too. He's got more potential
because he does when he is given the opportunity to make plays, he makes plays. But I mean, one catch or one attempt or 2 attempts or 4 attempts, he's out on the last week he was on the field 9 plays, and none of them were called. It was like the third option. Well, Gino's not going to his third option. So if you're to the third option, you ain't getting the ball, unless the ball gets tipped up in the air and you happen to be in the right place at the right time.
I like what's his brother's name? Oh no, LaFleur from the Rams. Back coordinator. I wouldn't mind him. I would take him as a See for sure.
Yeah, Joe Brady.
Another good one.
You know, I think he would be okay.
Could you imagine if he sticks with Olsen for next season? I just don't want. He of all people is definitely a retread because he's been here twice before. This is his third go around with the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done with the whole retread shit. I want a fresh, new face in
across
here
the board.
That's never been a head coach.
Across the board.
Know, maybe been an OC, but somewhere else, or one of these bright guys, these bright young guys that can come in and make a change. Bring that new energy in. Instead of bringing in these old rehashed coaches, like McDaniels and then Pete Carroll and AP kind of was that guy. That fresh start, that younger vibe, that kind of moving us up in the times. But then we just super regressed by bringing Pete Carroll in. Now, don't get me wrong. I was all for Pete Carroll when we first said that we were hiring him.
Yeah, I still like Pete Carroll. I just don't think he's doing a good. I don't think he's doing a good job. I think interpersonal relationships has been his biggest. It's not so much the coaching in and of itself. I really truly believe his interpersonal relationship with some of the players is what's causing this descent. Because when it comes to the X's and O's and strategy, he's right up there with the tops. But interpersonal relationships have a lot to do with that. Was Bill Belichick's downfall after Brady left.
Yeah,
it was my whistle's bigger. My whistle's the biggest whistle in this room.
But he's very friendly to the players he likes, like the really good players. Except for Brady. Him and Brady didn't. People have this misconception that they were best buddies. They weren't that friendly with each other.
There was, towards the end, it started to get a little chippy.
So I think we're going to get ready to call it here. You got any final thoughts on everything that went down this weekend and going forward?
No, you know what? To be quite honest with you, Jeff, it kind of played out like I expected. However, I still thought that they would have been in a position to win the game at the end of the game and kind of make it somewhat competitive. But whenever you go in against another 2-8, you're 2-8, the other team's 2-8. Nobody's expecting a championship caliber football game. Nobody.
I thought it was just going to be a defensive battle.
But at least with 8 minutes to go, we're down by a score or we're up by a score, type thing.
Yeah,
and make it look like you care. That absolutely, the way they played yesterday, it absolutely like they didn't care.
Oh, they totally didn't. You could see it in their faces and just their effort on the field. It was a I don't give a fuck type game. That's how it felt to me anyway.
That's the U-Haul. It was a U-Haul game.
Yeah.
And we got seven. We got how many more games we got left? We got 6 more games left.
Shit. 6 or 7, right? What are we at now?
6. We played 11.
6 games, yeah.
Or 2-9.
God, that is so bad. 2-9. Yeah, we're gonna be 2-15. I don't see us.
But if we go 3-14, it better be the last game of the season.
And that's what I was just going to say, because it was going to tie in what Raider Moore's post here. He goes, I was just invited to week 18 versus KC. If it's a win, I'll go home for game for KC. I want the QB Greg thinks will give us the best chance. Yeah, if we're going to win one more game this season, I hope it's that one. And I hope it's a stipulation where if the Chiefs win, they're in the playoffs. But if we beat them, they get knocked out of the playoffs. Because that would just be, if that's our only division win this season, great. We still got to play the Broncos and the Chargers one more time. We got the Chargers this weekend. That would just be awesome that we knocked the Chiefs out of the playoffs. I mean, that nothing better than watching Mahomes, have to get back on the plane back to KC and cry because, hey, that's the end of your season, buddy. No Super Bowl for you, bitch.
Our preseason predictions, I was at 6 to 8 wins, but I said week 17. We play the Chiefs, and the Chiefs are in line.
Bob Levy. He just turned 100 at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. They sang happy birthday to him. Hey, SoCal Sal, what's up, brother? You're in just in
What's
time.
up, SoCal?
No.
Yeah. We were up to almost 60 people in the chat. We're at 35 now. Once again, thank you guys so much for coming in and joining us on this Monday morning.
Definitely.
I normally am not on Monday Morning Quarterback. It's usually Bill and Ted. But I asked to come in this weekend. It's part of the 401 Raider Jeff Productions franchise. I am a paid employee of the company, so I thought I'd ask if I can volunteer on my day off to come in and assist.
Right,
and the boss was gracious enough to let me in, and I appreciate that.
You're a dick. Yeah, he is 100 years old, man. He doesn't look it either. I'll tell you one thing: for 100 years old, man, he looks damn good for 100 still. Mm-hmm. That's like, God damn. I didn't realize he was that old till the Hall of Fame ceremony. Yeah. I was like, holy shit. So, all right. I will be on tomorrow night with the Most Notorious Podcast. Myself, Raider, Will, Leo, and James discussing Black Hole things going on with chapters and events. We will talk yesterday's game for sure. Wednesday night, the Raider Connection, myself, Leo, Jay from Just Raiders Baby, LV Raider 10 will be on Wednesday night, 9 o'clock Eastern time, 6 o'clock Pacific. You might want to tune in for that one or you should tune in for that one because we're going to have something a little bit special we're going to be doing on the show. So you don't want to miss that one. So it's going to be fun, but it's also going to be aggravating, but it'll be fun. You don't want to miss it. And Thursday, there is no Raiders Coast to Coast because it's Thanksgiving. So, and it's
everybody's going to be lit on tryptophan.
Yeah. I don't know.
Coast to coast.
Huh? Yeah, turpentine. Yeah, but everybody's tripped out on turpentine. That's what my kids used to say when they were little.
It's tryptophan.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures is Crystal pissed. I don't know what's up with Chris. I don't know if he's not feeling good or what's going on, but
he probably got yelled at.
Bill said he's glad you're on, Jason. Friday night is still a go for the live mic drop. Make sure tomorrow night you check out Chris's channel. He's on the Cover 3 with Raider Nation Jason, Chris for Raiders, and Chewy's News and Sports podcast. So make sure you guys tune in for that tomorrow night. I believe they go on at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific. So make sure that's why you have to have your notifications on. So make sure
hit that bell, subscribe.
Go to Chris's channel, hit the notification, hit the subscribe, hit the thumbs up for today. Do the same for Jason's channel. It's Raiders First.
Raiders First Downs.
Make sure you go over to his channel. Do the same. Hit the sub, hit the like, hit the notification. Because he doesn't really come on set shows except for Friday night. But sometimes he will pop in on a live here and there. So you want to have those notifications on because he brings a wealth of knowledge to the shows. And I love having him on, and I love doing that.
Primarily Saturday nights.
Yeah.
Primarily Saturday nights with the Raiders Last Call podcast, where we preview and review. A lot of the review is regurgitated information throughout the previous 6 days, but we do like to dig into the preview of the game that follows the next day. Also, we like to bring in a little extra content. Jeff likes to do his trivia questions, I don't know why you do trivia anyways, but
it's fun.
Yeah, he likes to do his trivia, and we have a little bit of fun towards the end and bring in the dialogue with the chat. I have to apologize. I haven't really been bringing much of the dialogue, Jeff, with the chat, but I've been kind of standing back today. Normally today is not I'm not on Monday Morning Quarterback, so I'm kind of trying to step back and just help you guys out a little bit.
He's like a fixture in a room. He's just taking up space.
I could take up a lot of space too, let me tell you.
I know, that's why I said that. So, all right, folks, if I don't see any of you, make sure everybody has a wonderful and happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your time with the family. Stay safe over the holidays. Anybody that's traveling out of town, make sure you be vigilant, check your surroundings, and stay safe no matter where you go. And guess what? Go Raiders.
Go Raiders.